Welcome back to episode 265 of the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast. My name is Josh. I suppose I should introduce my cast of characters.
He's a man of few words, but many edits, and was voted by the Hobby Content Guild as hockey's sexiest producer. It's Baba Louie.
Duh.
Baba Louie, Baba Louie. What's up, buddy?
Hey.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you boys?
Doing well.
Feels good.
Doing well.
Feels good. Josh, good.
All right. Anything to report, Louie? The good listener?
Nope.
Nothing? Okay. Well, then there's...
He wears pork-chop pants, requires frequent potty breaks, and just wants a girl to hold his very hairy hand. It's Phil from Ottawa.
Hi, Phil.
Why'd you have to put my geographical location?
Yeah.
What?
You're the guy on your show that does mail dates. Puts your address right in the camera.
Yeah,
You dox yourself, dude.
yeah. I don't care about
every
being
Friday.
doxxed. That doesn't bother me at all. I don't know. Like, I'm not afraid. Like, ring the doorbell or don't. Let's see what happens. We'll make content. It'll be good.
Welcome back, everyone, to Total Gong Show. And I guess that's where we need to start today with corrections. So from an accuracy standpoint, our last show was a total disaster, and it's mainly me. I guess I've
What
had a
happened?
lot on the brain. Yeah, and it was sort of like when it rains, it pours kind of thing. Well, first of all, when we did our Mount Rushmore, which, oh man.
What happened? Did I
Yeah,
miss
well,
something?
the people were in pretty vehement disagreement with me. And one of the points that was made is that, well, I justified Ryan O'Reilly being on the Hobby Mount Rushmore for the Blues because he was the captain of the Blues when they won the Stanley Cup. The problem with that is he wasn't. Petrangelo was the captain.
It's Peter Angelo? Yeah.
Alex Petrangelo. Yep. So,
You dummy.
oops.
Well,
Right. And then I don't know if we have ever gotten more comments in this on anything, Phil.
Another
And
one.
People were very proud of you. Anze Kopitar is from Slovenia, and I've
I
got somebody. Phil was right.
I
Phil
knew
was
I read
right.
that somewhere.
And
See?
then
I knew I wasn't losing my mind when I said he could hang out with his fellow Slovenian Luka Doncic now that they're both in LA.
Yeah.
Josh
Bill had it. Bill
kibosh
backed it
on us.
up, and
And then there was another one from our three at least from our Get to Know Your Hall of Famers segment. So our good boy Nels Old Poison Stewart, I said his rookie card was the 1933 O-Pee-Chee. Wrong.
Ooh.
It's actually the 1925-26 Anonymous. So these were like hockey cards that were produced where they don't even know who made them, but it does exist. They're very, very rare. The reason why I didn't find it in any of the sales history tools is because they only probably sell privately. And now what I could have and should have done is gone to TCDB like I normally do, and I skipped that step and it bit me.
That's probably
No,
your worst
it
mistake.
was there.
Right now.
It was there.
Yeah,
I was trying to
I
find.
should have done that one.
I
We
was
should
trying
do
to
that.
find a better picture.
We
than
should do
him.
that more, like show notes from the previous show.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Uh,
so you can make fun of me for being dumb? Sure.
well, it's usually me. I don't care. It's okay.
I don't either. So yeah, when it rains it pours. Mistakes are inevitable when you make a 3-hour show, but I hate them. So it's like I was like kind of like a gut punch on Monday. I was like, oh
Do you know what that's from? When it rains,
What?
it pours.
no,
You don't?
no.
Morton's table, or is it Windsor? No, I don't think it's Windsor Salt. Morton Salts. It's their logo. Yeah, it's Morton Salts. Yeah, when it rains, it pours.
That's where it comes from.
Yeah, that's the
the-
slogan. I'm
oh.
almost positive. Yeah, and I don't think here's another little thing of it. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's when one thing comes, many more follow. Doesn't have to be
Sure,
bad.
could be good or
right?
could be bad. I suppose.
Could be
right?
good, it could be bad.
So that's your corrections. Yeah, we got a lot of like notes to get through. Phil, your Friday night show moves back to Thursday for twice in 3 weeks, right?
Yeah,
Because
tonight.
of the Quebec City show.
Correct.
So
Aw, he's a cute little guy, eh? That's a cute Phil.
yeah,
I was a cute
Yeah, it's a
kid.
cute
I really was.
I think the polar bear behind you might be ready to eat you, but
That's all right.
You
I'm
want to hold it like a little baby?
I'm a brown bear. Don't worry. I don't. I'm a well, so are polar bears.
yeah. So what's going down on Thursday nights with Phil tonight?
Tonight you will have to check out. We're opening. I'm going to be opening up Allure. I'm very, very excited. Sylvain will be hanging out, and we
Nice.
have one guest very much confirmed. I'm really excited, and I'm trying to get a second guy in, but no promises. As long as we get a guest in, well, Phil and Sylvain puts on a great show. We'll go over some topics and share some laughs, hold each other, maybe have some tears. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
It'll be fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, did we do the hard confirm strategy with the guest?
Yes, so
that
I'm
we're
getting
talking about?
better. I'm not trying to be as nice and kind. I'm just like, so I really need a confirmation. And I wrote the sentence, I hit send, and I got a great response back. And he said, totally understand. I can confirm. So we have a confirmation. We're good.
Great. Can't wait to check it out.
Mhm.
Got a quick hobby checklist update. First of all, the Easter egg was found. Bill, were you aware of
Oh,
the Easter egg? So by when I say we, I mean Louis. But
he found it? That
no, but he's the one that did it. He put
Oh.
your mug on Shane Pinto's player profile.
Oh, I love that.
Anyone that goes
Look.
sign a Shane Pinto car, they get to see your
Oh,
smiley
that's
face.
great, guys. Thank you. No, can you keep it there?
Oh yeah, it's our site, Phil. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah, but you know what? That's absolutely true. Yeah, I have some other ideas. Why'd you say no to all my ideas then?
Because I don't like them. No, I'm just kidding. I don't
Okay,
remember
fair enough.
them. That's the real reason. But you have to
I'm
tell
a-
me those
I'm-
again.
I'm a firm believer in how's the slogan go? Forgiveness. I can't even think of how it goes
Beg
now.
for forgiveness versus asking for permission.
Begging for
Forgiveness is
forgiveness is
divine.
easier than asking for permission.
Yeah.
No, I think it was Donatello. He said forgiveness is divine, but never pay for late pizza.
Different show.
Movie.
Well, we did have a winner. Ed Lister 82 on Instagram
Mhm.
found the Easter egg, and so I'm going to send him a prize. I just have to figure out what. But congratulations to Ed.
So funny. Good job, Ed.
We got a bunch of people, like dozen or 24, sent it in. He was just the first.
Well, I
So-
don't know how they didn't. Don't get me wrong, you guys, for what you sent to me too, and for trying. But Josh basically laid it out on a platter. I almost jumped through the camera to strangle him when he's like, "Well, it has to do with you, Phil," and we were talking about Shane Pinto, and I'm like, "Oh, for God."
You said that, Josh? Yeah, you're I'm starting to think you're not a good secret keeper. Are you I'm gonna have to call your parents and see if Josh is a good secret keeper.
Yeah, well, you'll find out soon enough.
Yeah, I
Okay.
guess so.
We're still working on back-end stuff on the site, like site speed. That's a big issue. Have some developers helping me. They sent me a report. It was poor. So we're in the red, but we're going to get to the green. There's red, yellow, green. We're
Mhm.
at the top of the red.
Listen, tell the good listener, nothing's more important than the speed. Well, obviously the
No.
accuracy and the information, the data, but after that, it's speed. I don't want to
Mhm.
wait 3 seconds. I'm out on our own site. I'm out.
Yeah, it'll be fast. So I sent the report to the developers, and we're working on strategies. It will speed. It's a brand new site. This is very common from what I understand. So we just got to work through it. We have added a number of recent checklists. So 1951 Parkhurst, 2020 O-Pee-Chee Platinum, 2014 Platinum, the very first O-Pee-Chee Platinum set, 23-24 Parker's Champions, all for my boy Baba Louie, because that was his
Mhm.
request and dedication. And then remember, too, with Allure coming out yesterday, that 2024-25 Allure is live on the site. So you can, any cards you pick up, you can reference there. Or if you're looking forward to next week to O-Pee-Chee Paper, that's on the site as well. Oh, and I forgot to add, too, I did 1910 and then 1912, the C56 and C57 sets. So the very first now, and 1911 was already on there. So the very first 3 hockey sets are all represented in the last 3.
Amazing.
Now we just got about 2 million to fill in between and
Bookends.
everything going forward. So that's our
Well,
update
Josh,
on hockeychecklist.com.
did I tell you? So I was at my second LCS today, and my good buddy Hans, who's also very good friends with Richard Scott, who wrote that O-Pee-Chee book. He texted Richard because he might have a lot of 70s and 80s checklist. He hoarded them in XLS files. Yeah, man,
Nice.
I'd be the mother load, eh? Get that? So we'll see what Richard
Do some back
says.
alley deals for checklists. Like people think you're buying like a little booger sugar or something like that. But you're like,
I don't know if Richard would do that. He's such a nice guy. He'd probably just give them to us for free. Yeah.
Hey, I hear you got the 72 checklist, man. What's it gonna take to get it off your hands?
Yeah, make it mysterious, Richard. Try a little bit. Come on.
Okay. Oh, so Baba Louie, myself, and a Patreon and Discord member Tori from the
Mm.
Northern Twin Cities. We're setting up at a card show this weekend, Phil. We're actually setting up, and it'll be a total disaster. And
Yeah.
we'll try to make some content, and at least for me, it will be.
What are
'Cause I'm
your
going to be the
goals?
guy.
What are your goals for this card show?
Well, in theory, right, you prepare, but I will have no time to do that. So I'm going to be the guy sitting there pricing my cards as I put them out at the card show. 100% guaranteed that.
Half the dealers do that. It's a rite of passage. You'll be all right.
I just don't have time.
I'm
You'll
ready
blend
to
in.
go.
Yeah, well, you're better than I am, Louis. So fine.
Yeah.
You got Tori there too. So yeah, it's two professionals and a schmuck.
Tori looks like an organized individual.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's running
So
it,
if you
man.
want to go to, if you're in the Minnesota area and want to go to Rosemont, it's either CA or GA. I can't remember what it is.
GA.
Not California and Georgia.
It's at the GA building, but it's actually next door at the True Players like batting cage golf simulator facility.
Wow,
No.
it sounds like a big show.
No, small.
Yeah, I was being.
But it was really it's been packed though. It's
But it's
growing.
amazing.
Yeah,
Small and amazing.
I'm
Yeah.
happy for you guys because you don't have a lot of events out there that do with hockey. So
Mhm.
I'm proud. I'm grateful that my friends have something to do this weekend.
Thank you. So got to make a GP sports mention. Now, Phil was telling me that there might be some weather issues as far as whether GP makes it to Quebec City or not, but we'll have
Well,
to see there.
Heard a little birdie tell me that Grant and entourage. So I don't know if Grant's allowed to leave Toronto because Troy is. Yeah, Sam is always chaperoning, or I'm trying to use a better word than babysitting.
Oh,
I know it's horrible. I'm so sorry. I love everybody, and so
But
yeah,
see, you're not supposed to say that though.
I know. I'm used to it by now. I was
Grant?
talking to Grant today, and he was like, "It's not me who doesn't want to go. It's Sam." He goes, "Sam doesn't want to rent the car." So then I messaged Sam, and I said, "Come on, get the sand out of in between your toes, and put your socks on, and rent the car, and let's go." So we'll see. I'm very confident those boys from Ontario will make it up to Quebec City on time.
Yeah. Well, and then, so in theory, if they make it, right, there's a rumor that our boy Phil, the micro-endowed collector, will be involved in the breaks on Friday night for Friday night breaks. So you got to tune into YouTube. Grant will be streaming around 8 Eastern time. So remember to check out the GP Sports YouTube channel. And then you go to your details of all the breaks at gpsportscards.com, pick up your spots. He always does a ton of breaks, so you can pick and choose which ones are interesting to you. And Phil will be there, so craziness will ensue.
He's breaking. He broke last night. Allure, man, some big cards were hit. Got a big doubloons card. Big fan. People are really coming around on that one too. People in the chat were pretty happy. Some big cards in that Allure. Yeah.
So GP Sports Cards breaks and Phil's card cracking service. All right.
Yeah. Well, I gave a proposal to Grant, and he was very kind, and he said he'll look it over and he'll get back to me. He hasn't yet, but I'm sure he's just busy or something.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay. Last thing, or second last thing, but are you guys excited for Four Nations? They start tonight here when we're recording. I just want to see how's it hitting you? Are you curious? Do you not care? Are you pumped to check out the game?
I'm curious. I'm definitely curious. I am a little bit more excited to watch a movie tonight with my brother. I feel bad saying that. I'm such a Canadian patriot, and even got the tattoo and everything. And I don't know. There's something not catching all my interest, but I am curious.
What about you, Baba Louie?
Oh, I'm interested to see how it goes down. I think these guys are going to play their hearts out, especially wearing their country's garb. It's going to be a different gig.
Yeah, once the puck drops, maybe, once the puck drops and it's like, okay, game on. I'm really excited to see Kucherov and Ovechkin play on the same line. That'll be, never mind.
Oh. The Team USA jerseys are amazing. You seen those, Louis?
No. I don't remember. I think I did, but
they're awesome.
sticking with me. Okay.
I want to get a sweatshirt of it or something like that.
I think I just said something that's maybe in my subconscious. I can't say that word. I'm very upset that Russia's not in it. It should be a 6-nation cup, 8-nation cup, and I think that's cheesing me a little bit behind the scenes.
Yeah, well, I think that Russia and Germany is another. Germany has tons of great NHL players.
Yeah, just I want to see the best of the world compete against each other, and I think they want that too. Why did we have to let the adult politics get? I mean, I'm not even going to go there. It sucks. It just kind of sucks. I want to see Ovi play. I want to see Kucherov play. Like them or not, they're the best hockey players in the world. I'd like to see them play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we're going to get comments about that, and I don't mind what you said, but I just want to clarify that we're by no means making a geopolitical statement
What do you mean?
as far as we're talking about hockey.
Well,
I mean, anytime we mention Russians should get to play in international competition,
we get
people will
comment?
chime in. Oh yeah, like with their, their beliefs that of what Russia's doing is, very harmful to the world, and I think that I try to separate the players from the politics, right?
Listen,
the
good
point I wanted to
listener,
make.
you can separate it. You're older, you have wisdom, you have emotional maturity, and we're always trying to be better every day. It is separate. Josh, none of that bothers me. We're talking about hockey. I respect the good listener, and they know what we meant.
Okay. Last thing before we get started is a reminder that our show, the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast, is a Patreon podcast. What that means is we rely on the support of listeners like yourself and watchers like yourself to help us cover our show expenses, produce more and what we hope to be better hockey content, and fund initiatives like our brand new website, hockeychecklist.com, to help improve the hockey hobby. It's very easy to support us. You can do it for as little as $5 a month. Be one of the first 299 supporters of our show forever have that title. You also get exclusive access to our Discord server where we do a lot of fun stuff there. Very easy to do. Just go to our website, hockeycardsgongshow.com, click on the Become a Patron link, or go to the Patreon website directly, patreon.com, and search for Hockey Cards Gongshow. There's a link in the show description if you're watching on YouTube or listening to us on a podcast app. And then finally, in our Instagram and TikTok profiles, we have a link there too. Louis, we're very blessed and humbled that we have 4 new patrons
I know.
since our
Get
last
outta
show just
here.
a few days ago. That's crazy.
That's great.
So I'll let you roll through them now, probably.
All right, number 1, or well, the first one I got in there, the Sports Card Journey. Thank you very much. Next one up was Winnipeg Jets Collector.
Ooh.
After that was 717 Sports Cards. We thank you. And last but not least, I love this, Tinfoil Mitts.
Best name. Yeah.
Didn't we have that last week?
We might have. Shoot. Well, we said thanks twice. We had 3.
Oh,
And I'm the stoner. What? Oh, it's amazing.
well, hey, you got double the love.
Yeah, that's true. That's good. Yeah, well, for the great name, you get a double whammy. That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't believe in excuses, Phil, but by way of reason, I've been very overwhelmed this
Okay.
last week. So I'm
okay, buddy.
So cute. Yeah.
Anywho,
this is me at night.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Louis, what's the game plan?
yeah, moving right along to the game plan. Hopefully I don't double up here. First, we'll start with Get to Know Your Hall of Famers. Then we're going to jump into a Hobby Deep Dive Sets Edition. After that, PSA New Grading Standards with Brad Hartlin. After that, we have a Gretzky's Rookie Tops PSA's most faked cards. That should be interesting. Then it's 2024-25 Allure Instant Reactions, followed by Fanatics Weekly Preview, where we picked out a couple cards to look at, and our personal pickups.
All right, do you guys see behind me, Kobe?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I can tell there's turkeys in the backyard. That's his turkey hunting pose. He's very, very savage turkey hunter. That
Has he
Kobe
caught a
is.
turkey?
No.
No.
He's pretty fast, but turkeys will fly once you get too close to him.
If you're not faster than a turkey and you're a dog, I don't think you're a fast dog.
He's pretty fast. I'm
Yeah,
not
for
kidding.
sure. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like my buddy, my friend's kids. Look how smart they are. They're putting the square pegs and the circle pegs, and but they're smart. Yeah.
Well,
I'm gonna tell him that you made fun of him after the show. He'll be mad at you.
Okay.
We got to get going with our Get to Know Your Hall of Famers series. We're on the last inductee from the 1952 Hockey Hall of Fame class, where we're looking at the life, exploits, hockey career, and hobby market for every single Hockey Hall of Famer. We started with the very first Hall of Fame class in 1945 and are working our way to present day. So here we are again with our last 1950 Hall of Famer. And it was the third ever class that was initiated, I guess. And it's our second Moose. Moose Goheen. Moose Goheen.
Goheen.
Moose Goheen. Yeah, there we go.
What do we call the other moose? Money Moose.
Moose Johnson. Yeah, and then Money Moose
Oh.
the Breaker. Sure.
I thought you were talking about Moose.
No,
On
no.
Amber.
Yeah, we've had. again, you never fail to pay attention to your own show. A couple weeks ago,
You told me not to read the notes, and it'll be better for the show. And now I'm getting in trouble for not reading the notes.
Listen. I did tell you to listen. So okay. Now, Louis,
Yeah.
this is going to hit home. Francis Xavier Moose Goheen lived from 1894 until 1979, dying at 85 years old. Moose was born in White Bear Lake, Minnesota.
Attaboy.
And died in Maplewood. So he's one of us.
Yeah.
One of us. The good Moose is one of us. He's a Twin City resident through and through. Moose rang in at 6 feet and 220 pounds. So I get it. Moose. In a hockey career that spanned from 1914 until 1933, Moose played for such teams as the Buffalo Majors, St. Paul Saints, the White Bear Lakers, most prominently then the St. Paul Athletic Club, and then the USA national team. Goheen was another early hockey pioneer that was a steadfast amateur. He played 3 sports in college at Valparaiso University, hockey, football, and baseball, and then returned to the Twin Cities area and joined the St. Paul Athletic Club. With the team, he won the United States Amateur Hockey Championship in, I think, the 1914-15 season. And then shortly after, then he played again the following season. And then after, he took a break from hockey and enlisted in the U.S. Army during World War I. He would serve in the European theater in the Signal Corps. So I think that's like military intelligence, passing along information from what I gathered. After the war, Goheen would return to play hockey at the St. Paul Athletic Club and won a second U.S. Amateur Championship in 1920. Then he was selected to the 1920 U.S. Olympic team and would captain the USA to the silver medal. After the Olympics, Goheen played amateur hockey again for St. Paul Saints, but turned down larger hockey opportunities with both the NHL and the 1924 Olympic team to focus on his career at the St. Paul Power Company, which is hilarious to think of, right? Like, no, I don't want to play for the Blackhawks, today in today's terms. I think I work for the Power Company. But it wasn't probably that as good of a deal to be a hockey player, of course, in 1924 as it is today. We know that. So why should we care about Moose Goheen? Moose Goheen earned his nickname due to his large physical stature and powerful playing style on the ice. At 6 feet tall, he was considered a big and imposing player for his era, and his combination of strength, skating ability, and aggressive play made him stand out. His nickname Moose reflected his size, toughness, and dominant presence in American hockey during the early 20th century. He was an early American hockey pioneer. Goheen was one of the top U.S. players in the 1910s and 20s, excelling in an era dominated by Canadian hockey. Goheen was a star in the U.S. amateur hockey scene, which gained him a fair amount of recognition. As a part of the first U.S. Olympic hockey team, he helped secure a silver medal at the 1920 Antwerp Games, marking one of the first major international achievements for American hockey. Despite multiple offers to play in the NHL, Goheen remained committed to amateur hockey in Minnesota, further cementing his legacy as a key figure in developing the sport at the local and national levels. Moose was the second American after Hobie Baker to be elected to the Hockey Hall of Fame and the first Minnesotan, which is a very special for
That's a big
Louie
one.
and I. Yeah. Okay, looking at the Moose Goheen hobby market, there are no playing days cards for Moose Goheen. He was acknowledged, though, in the 1960 top set as the All-American Great Inserts. PSA 9 copy is the highest selling per card letter sales history, went for $808 US in October 2018. And now, Philly Boy, don't worry. Don't you worry, Philly Boy. There's also the 1985 Cardophilium set, which does feature Moose Goheen card. Nice. You can pick one up for about $1 raw. Looks like he's in a St. Paul Saints sweater there.
Listen, I looked up Cardophilium cards on ComC. They're not $1. They're all like $30, $40.
Oh, really? Well,
yeah.
I'm looking up the sales. So, yeah, whoever is probably listening to the show is jacking up the price of them.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what's happened for sure.
Louis, that's our Hockey Hall of Famer from WBL. Moose Goheen. I read too that like their big hockey tournament is for youth hockey is the Goheen hockey tournament even to this day.
Oh, cool, nice.
Pretty good. What's the word? Pretty good hockey heritage in White Bear Lake, huh, Louis?
Yeah.
Not like Farmington.
Are these like little American towns or something?
These are suburbs of the Twin
Little-
Cities.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
What White Bear Lake was like, there's a lake, of course, hence the name.
Thanks.
That
Mhm.
about 10 years ago, like almost ran out of water because something the Army Corps of Engineers did. So that you had people that had these cabins, and then like their dock would end, and then you'd go 100 more yards, and the water
Mhm.
would begin.
Oh no.
That was not a good scene, and I think they filled it back up.
Yeah, it's good to go now.
Okay, we're gonna move on to Hobby Deep Dive Sets Edition. It's our 15th Hobby Deep Dive Sets Edition. It's where we come up with 4 iconic, or at the very least, interesting sets. Throw them up on the old hobby poll.
Yeah.
Ba-da-boom.
I hope Fanimation
Ba-da-boom.
won. Or Zenith.
Okay, well, we'll get to
Yeah.
it. But then you, the good listener, get to select which one we'll deep dive this week. Before we get into today's set choices, here's a quick recap of the ones we've done so far. Like I said, there's 14 of them. Last couple were 0607, the Cup limited logos. Then we did 2001 Topps Chrome Refractors, Bill's Blast from the Past, Starquest Gold, a whole bunch of them. After 20, well, okay, so here's today's choices now. We had 1997 Pinnacle Zenith Z Gold, 2018 Upper Deck Fanimation, 2021 Flair Ultra Medallions, and 2014 O-Pee-Chee 3D Easter Egg. After 24 hours of voting, the results are in. Drum roll, please, Troy.
I'm nervous. Jesus. Was that
That was
Troy?
a little- that was
Yeah.
Troy.
It's aggressive.
Troy, you're out of practice. You're pretty loud
Violent
there, buddy.
drooling.
Okay, here's the results. With the
Nice.
34% of the vote, 2018 Fanimation wins, followed by pretty close in the other ones. 1997 Pinnacle Zenith Z Gold at 23%, 21 Flair Ultra Medallions at 22%, and 2014 O-Pee-Chee 3D Easter Egg at 21%.
I think Carter missed out. He's going to be upset about the medallions.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big Carter from the Saskatchewan show. Just letting
Yeah.
people know. Yeah, big medallions.
Or
guy.
Hockey Card Burning Man, as we renamed
Hockey
it. They
Card
renamed
Burning
it.
Man. Yeah.
So that makes this week's deep dive. I'm really excited about this one. I got some great information. I called up some people at Upper Deck for some inside info on it. So I'm
Awesome.
excited to share that. 2018 Upper Deck Fanimation set. So what makes Fanimation distinctive from other cards is that they're not player photos, of course, but they're illustrations that offer a distinctive flair and artistic interpretation of, I guess, the illustrator. Now, the roots of Fanimation, like many other iconic hockey cards, go back to basketball. And in this case, the 1992 Upper Deck set. One thing that you might notice when looking at the newest Fanimation cards and even with the 2018 version is that Upper Deck has chosen to continue to use the original Fanimation logo from 1992 as a way, I guess, a nod to the original designs. And I guess the other note of historical context is the 2018 Fanimation set we're covering today is not the first hockey Fanimation cards. Upper Deck did the first hockey Fanimation in the 1994 Be a Player set that featured Wayne Gretzky, Pavel Bure, Eric Lindros, Patrick Waugh, and Doug Gilmour. 2018, though, was the first time Upper Deck included Fanimation in the modern flagship sets. These were Easter eggs that first appeared in 2018 Series 1, so they were unannounced and not on the checklist. Therefore, the odds or print runs were never disclosed by Upper Deck. We don't know. But anecdotally, of course, we know that they're pretty rare. They don't sell very often, and they sell for a lot when they do. Now, when Upper Deck pitched the concept of Fanimation to the NHL, they really liked it. But the league's request was that one Fanimation card be made for every NHL team. So that's why Upper Deck ended up doing it in Series 1 and Series 2, because there's 31 total cards, 16 in Series 1, 15 in Series 2. I'm going to go through the list really quick just to give people an idea of like what some of these look like. So the first one is like Steven Stamkos, represented Tampa Bay. Then you had Sebastian.
The cityscapes, all the players are in front of their cities.
Yep, well, we're going to get into that because there's some really interesting
apologies.
stuff. No, that's okay. There's some really fascinating stuff about that I got from Upper Deck. Then we have Sebastian Aho, Vladimir Tarasenko, Tyler Sagan, AM34 got a Fanimation in 2018. Claude Giroux, Alexander Barkov, Brock Besser, McDavid, Johnny Hockey, Johnny Gaudreau, Eichel, Ryan Getzlaf, Jonathan Quick, PK Subban, Marc-Andre Fleury, then Matthew Barzal, Nathan McKinnon, Clayton Keller, Sergei Bobrovsky, Patrice Bergeron, Nico Hischier. I couldn't find a photo, Louis. I would have done that one for you. I tried. That's how rare these are. Some of these you can't even find.
Oh, look at that.
I gotta
lung.
find
Henrik
one.
Lundqvist,
Wow.
Sidney Crosby, Blake Wheeler, Henrik Zetterberg, Mikko Koivu, Patrick Kane is another one, beautiful one to look at. Thomas Chabot, Joe Thornton, Carey Price, and then Alexander Ovechkin. A couple things now, and we'll get into the cityscapes real quick, Phil, but you may have noticed there's no legends on the checklist. This is due to the insert being a flagship product, where Upper Deck has a policy of not putting legends on the checklist. I know they've broken it a few times. There's been like Wayne Gretzky canvas cards. I think in 2016 there was, but that's why it's only active players, is due to that sort of policy that Upper Deck has. Now, as you can see, and if you're watching on YouTube, and Phil just mentioned too, that each card features an illustration of the player, and then the backdrop is another illustration of the cityscape for their team. An interesting point about these backgrounds and the cityscapes is that Upper Deck had to navigate around certain buildings and landmarks that are actually copyrighted. Yes, a building can be copyrighted.
Wow.
So you might have like a Wells Fargo tower or some sort of like building in your city that Upper Deck technically wouldn't have the copyright to draw. And so that was a little bit of a stumbling block when coming up with some of these cards. And apparently the biggest issue that they had to get around was on the Marc-Andre Fleury card, as he was playing for the Golden Knights, and the backdrop is the famous welcome to the famous Las Vegas sign behind him. So I guess there had to be a lot of legal stuff and approval to get to produce this card. And these are some of the things as collectors that we shouldn't care about, but we do rarely think about, that it's not just as easy as making any card that you want all the time.
It would pre-promoting the city. I maybe that's how they came to that conclusion.
I don't know. Now, Fanimation cards are printed on similar stock to UD Canvas, which I think sort of enhances the artistic nature of the cards, right? It makes it feel like a drawing on a canvas or something like that. And they're often compared to, or sometimes compared to Panini's Downtown cards. And while there is some similarity, of course, it's both illustrations of players that do feature backgrounds of cities. Well, I think it's important to know that Upper Deck is the originator of Fanimation in 1992. Not that this concept is novel or unique. Lots of people have done it. But the key difference between a Downtown and a Fanimation goes back to that card stock, where you're going to have the canvas card versus a Downtown is foiled. And, you can have your opinion, I guess, whichever one you like better. Now, okay. So like we always do in these deep dives, we're going to roll through the top 5 highest selling 2018 Fanimation cards, along with each player's respective highest sale. Any sale, of course, made by a Terapeak that's within the 3-year look-back window has been verified as paid for. Any sale made in eBay has been verified as paid for in Terapeak. So the number 5 highest selling 2018 Fanimation is a Nathan McKinnon PSA 10. That's sold for $302 via eBay in November 2022. If you're saying on YouTube, well, it's a PSA 9, there's no photo of that PSA 10, so I'm just showing the PSA 9 instead. Then number 4 is that Mark Fleury card we just looked at a minute ago. That sold for $475 raw US on eBay in May of 2022. Number 3 is an Ovi Alexander Ovechkin PSA 10, sold for $666 via eBay in February 2024. That's a cool one. I like that.
That's a great card, yeah.
Another great one, number 2, Sidney Crosby PSA 10, sold for $670 US.
Cheap.
Via eBay in November of 2023. And then the highest selling is a Connor McDavid PSA 10 that's sold for $1,013 via eBay on December of 2022. Again, there's no picture, so we're just showing the raw copy instead.
Like that one? Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the PSA 10 is what sold for $1,000.
Yeah,
Raw. All right, well, that's it. Here's your hobby deep dive for 2018 Fanimation. Any thoughts?
That was great, Josh. I have 2. I can't find the other one in the office, but I have 2 Gretzky's, and some of these came in Goodwin Champions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So the other Gretzky's nicer than this. Yeah, I think the other one's nicer than this one. But I'm a big fan of the Fanimations, and I don't like weird things. And
These are fun. I like these ones.
The following year, the A little
They
washed out.
do them in 2-year design cycles. So every 2 years it changes.
I like the big head copies.
They can
this year and
flush
last
the
year.
big head copies.
No, I think so. I think the year after these ones, Louis, are the ones they were kind of big heads, but not really, and they had a very blue tinge, washed out look to them.
Okay.
But you don't like the drawn big heads from this year? Oh, I love them. I think they're great.
Those are
Where
like
Jack
the-
Hughes looks like a girl.
Mhm.
And he's
Oh
pooping.
my God. He sees it looks like a really pretty girl. I was like, hey, hello, I'm Phil.
You really need to get a stepmom for Hasselhoff because
I'm working on it. No, I have to
Jack
change
Hughes.
my tune soon. Yeah. Anyways.
Okay. All right, Slap Sharks, the Gong Show partner sponsor. We're thankful for their support of this Total Gong Show. As we know, the current Slap Sharks weekly eBay auctions tonight. Do not miss it. There's so many great cards ending. More than 4,000 in total. It's like the third or fourth week in a row with 4,000 or more. Just incredible. Phil or Louie, you guys bidding on any cards? You got your eye on anything, Phil?
I might, maybe.
I'm in.
All right.
I'm
All
in.
right. We know our boy California Dave. He's always I always get texts about him getting crushed at the Slap Sharks auction. 'Cause
Yeah.
he or I never win anything.
Oh.
Now, why are so many Canadian collectors turning to Slap Sharks to help sell their cards on eBay? Well, it's a no-brainer. That's why. They do all the work for you, like everything. You just hand them your cards and you're done. Plus, your cards get placed on one of the premier weekly auctions in all the hockey hobby land. Even in made-up lands like Moncton, they have Slap Sharks, guys. I've heard that. I don't know if it's the same because it's a made-up land, but I heard that they have Slap Sharks.
You're
That's
gonna get
how
some
popular it is.
Acadians. You're gonna get some Acadians step up to you at the expo.
Yeah. Why did you get beat up? Because they said Moncton wasn't a real place.
Yeah, I'll protect you. It's okay.
So for complete consignment info, including payout rates, and to get this process started today, head to slapsharks.com. Hobby news.
Hobby news.
News around the world for the hobby.
Oh yeah.
You put a lot into that, Phil. Thank you. Okay, we're going to start hobby news today with a special guest. The other day, we had the pleasure to chat with Brad Hartlin from PSA Canada. There were a couple reasons why we wanted to have Brad on. First, I'm sure many of you know there's been a little bit of a controversy regarding PSA grading standards as their website was recently updated. And we've seen and heard many opinions as to the why, what happened, what it means, and that have been thrown out there. But for us to try to understand the company's position, we asked Brad to come on and I guess give us his perspective a little bit. Now, Brad does have a big role. He heads up PSA Canada, but he's not Nat Turner, right? And doesn't have the ultimate say as to what PSA does or doesn't do. So you just got to keep that in mind. It's kind of like a lot of people think like Billy makes every decision at Upper Deck.
Yeah,
As
I do.
sure
It's
his-
Billy's fault, right?
It's just the bad ones.
Yeah, every time I open a pack of cards and a card is damaged, freaking Billy. I wish you would
Billy,
package
come
the
on.
cards better. Come on, Billy.
But we just want to simply understand their position on this. And, the goal for us is in these circumstances is to always provide you with information, give you varying perspectives on any issue in the hobby so that you can make up your mind as to how you feel about a certain topic. We try hard to give opinions on things when we feel it's valuable to the conversation, but in a way that's not telling you, the good listener or good watcher, what to think. So this conversation was not so much about our opinions, but information gathering to understand both sides of the position. So after the interview rolls, I think each of us can share whatever our perspective is on this. But I also do want to mention beyond the grading standards discussion, we were interested, and I know it's really important to you, Phil, and other Canadians to get an update from Brad as what's happening with PSA's Canada operation. This has been many years in the making, and it's coming very soon, which is exciting for our hobby. Also, as we do in every instance like this, we want to note, of course, PSA is a supporter of our show, for which we are grateful for that. But it's just, in fairness and conversation and disclosure. And with that, we hope you enjoy our conversation with Brad Hartlin. We are pleased to welcome back to the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast our good friend Brad Hartlin from. Where are you from? Are you from PSA Canada, PSA, Collectors?
from,
Do I just keep saying words until
East
I get
Coast.
one right?
You could say Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Yeah, but no, from PSA Canada. I
Okay.
guess it's the easiest way. Yeah.
We'll go with that. Sure. Well, we're just going to get right to it. The elephant in the room. So there's been a lot of hubbub that a good word for it? The last few days, I guess, regarding the grading standards that your company uses, in particular for PSA 10, and to at least address at the beginning of our conversation, I thought it would be really helpful for people to get from you like what the issue is, and for because I think a lot of people maybe don't quite understand where some of the comments and opinions and stuff like that floating around is, and yeah, just to understand like what the issue is and then what PSA's perspective is on that.
Yeah. So we did recently update the language around our grading standards on our website to specify that the targeted threshold for centering for a card to qualify for a PSA 10 would be 55-45. This has
Mhm.
this has long been the ideal centering threshold for us. I mean, as long as I can remember submitting cards for the last 15 years with PSA, I've always assessed a card that I thought could be a 10 if it had 55-45 or better.
Mhm.
We did have the factor that the grader's sole discretion could always extend that threshold a little bit if he chose to do so. So if a card was absolutely, like, let's say we looked at a 59-60 tops Bobby Hull, or we looked at that card and all of a sudden it was perfect in every aspect. You know, we have a 9 and we have a 10, but it was perfect. Perfect. You looked at it, the surface was great, the back was great, the corners were great, the edges were great, but the centering was 57-43. So if that was the case, then we couldn't give that card a 10 when we know that anyone that's going to look say, this is the nicest copy I've ever seen of that card. So the grader always had discretion
Mhm.
to be able to exceed those thresholds. So now we changed the language to make it clearer that the threshold is 55-45. But if you look at the language on our grading standards at the very bottom, and I took a note just so I can make sure I read this exactly how it is written. At the grader's sole discretion, a small variance may be permitted on occasion based on a card's overall eye appeal. So what we did have before and what we do have now are really the exact same thing. It just clears it up a little bit from the language aspect. So a lot of new users, I'll say new submitters or new users or people that aren't as experienced, don't really look in their mind, say, you know, it's 60-40 is that threshold. Really, it wasn't. So we changed the language to make it clear.
Okay.
So
It-
I again, Sunday morning, after I kind of woke up and got things rolling, my phone, I had messages, and I was like, man, there seems to be a,
I'm trying to watch cartoons here. What's going on?
yeah, exactly. That's my Saturday morning. My Sunday morning.
yeah, Roadrunner Saturday morning.
Yeah.
So,
But
so
anyway,
you were kind of surprised that this became the issue it did then?
absolutely.
Okay.
100%.
And I just think like some of the things that I've heard, like that fears maybe that people have are like, well, my card that was graded a year ago that's a 10 wouldn't be a 10 today. Is that not the case?
No, I definitely am not worried about that. Now, if there's a
Okay.
card that was graded a 10 that the centering exceeded the 55-45, then there's a reason that it does. So it's the
Yeah.
same thing today. The grader can make that decision to do it. So if he did it 5 years ago or he did it yesterday,
Mhm.
it's the same thing in my opinion.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to like belabor the point, but I just want to be clear. So what you're saying is like go back to your 5 years ago that the standard for PSA 10 to the grader was always 55-45, but there was an exception provided in case that other elements of the card were exceptional and it merited uh, going outside those parameters to some slight degree up to 60-40. So it sounds like that was sort of like even if the card was perfect and it was 70-30, you couldn't grade it a 10, but you could go up to 60-40. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, that's how I always understood it. So it's kind of
Okay.
like when you look at half grades, like you'll see a lot of really beautiful cards that have an 8.5
Hmm.
that are graded an 8.5. And people say, why is that? Well, really, from what I always understood and I was told by different people over the years is that it did, the centering held it back because of our, if you look at most of the 8.5s, it's usually a centering issue. So it held
Yeah.
it back from getting a 9, but every other aspect, it's like it shouldn't be an 8, but it can't be a 9 because we have this restriction on our centering. You know what? This warrants an 8.5.
I've always wondered those half grades. So when I catch a 7.5 or an 8.5 somewhere out in the wild, it might be look first at the centering. It might just be that smidge. Oh, that makes
Correct.
sense, Brett. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially
Nice.
on the 8.5s, because that was always my I had a lot of questions, and those are questions that I have asked the grading team over the years. Again, before I even worked with PSA. So
I got kind of a weird question for you on this. I know it's no fun, like in the moment when there's controversy to whatever degree, and it kind of for everyone involved, I suppose it causes a little bit of angst in some regard. But do you think that maybe there could be a benefit to this overall? That it's really maybe more people will understand the PSA grading process, and it's kind of created a conversation around that at least. Now, again, some people are upset, and they, I guess, have the right to be. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion and comes at it from their own perspective. But I think like I've learned more about the grading thresholds in the last 2 minutes than I probably knew, and it's at a because of the fact that this has been such an issue throughout the hobby in the last few days.
yeah, no, I completely agree with you. If you look at now, it's really going to make my job when I explain to people and I go over the process and I talk about it, by having the language change how it is now, it's going to be a lot easier for me to explain. You have it in there at 55, 45, but like I said, if that card, exceptional card that comes through, and you just feel like it deserves a 10. Like we have a 9 and we have a 10. There's many other companies out there that have 9.5s, 10s with different colors, 10s with 3 different colors. 10. So when we have that difference there, there's not a lot more room for error, I guess you could say.
You're tightening it up. It's a good thing.
And it makes it clear for someone that's looking at their Charizard, or they're looking at their card that's new, and they say,
we're a hockey show, Brad. We're a hockey show.
Yeah, there you go. Absolutely.
Jeez.
But
Or this guy.
or it sets an expectation that's correct, right? So some guy doesn't have like 33 hockey cards that he sends in and doesn't get any PSA 10s, and then is like,
okay, Josh,
be butthurt forever.
Listen, I have listen. What a great Josh made me think of something. What a great opportunity. Remember last time, Brad, you were, well, I mean, I said a lot last time you were on, but I thought maybe promoting your good graders. I mean, obviously some graders are more senior than others and they're training, but this is a great opportunity for education, right? A great opportunity for PSA to have like a social media team, get a bunch of good-looking men and good-looking women, dress nice, and educate the hobby how PSA, like the leading grading standard, and like you can flex that 1.3 million cards last year. Like, give me a break, man. People are voting with their wallets, but they're complaining with their mouths, Yeah. What a great opportunity to show your grading practices and your standards. We just finished talking about, PSA's tightening things up a little bit. No one's dying. Everyone's going to be fine. No one's dying. It's just Monday. Everyone exploded Saturday and Sunday. Everything's going to be okay, guys. But I just think this is a something you can grab and really push forward and modernize, a new culture around grading, right?
I have a perfect idea around this, Phil.
Okay,
Brad, I don't know if you saw Phil's slab cracking service. You could hire him to make grading instructional videos for PSA. I think that those would be incredibly educational.
That was something else. I don't know. I like the card house even more.
Oh, you were watching that. I thought you were on a podcast Friday. By the way, I can't find a podcast on Friday nights that you're on. I don't even know anybody else who has a podcast on Fridays. I just watch Grant. So I expect you to be a guest on my show by this summer, please. Or I'm asking Sherry.
I do. Yeah. No, for sure. If I do have free time, I definitely will join. But if I do have free time,
okay,
with Bobby and Carlos and Eric,
Bobby, who are your friends? Yeah, who are your friends?
Well, yeah, with Carlos's show, which is on from 9 till gazillion hours.
Who's Carlos?
Because I'm Carlos. Great show, great guys.
Okay. So Bobby Burrell, I know Carlos. He does your Tuesday nights AMG.
Yeah.
That's okay. He has a podcast Fridays. Okay, I'll check it out. Right on.
No, again, it's my place that I just get away from.
All right. I just want to borrow you for a little bit. Just
100%. Yeah,
I want to see your cards, man. I don't want to talk to you. I want to see your cards.
I had some great pickups in the last couple of weeks too. So
Brad, come hang out, dude. Like lunch hour at recess. It's good.
Yeah. And I guess before we move on, I would just echo what Phil said. I do, if not that PSA wants my advice, but I do think it's a great comment, Phil. It is an educational opportunity, and to help especially newer collectors probably understand like what the how cards are graded and how to understand what you're submitting so that your expectations are in line with what you get. Because I would assume managing expectations is one of the biggest part of your job as you're working with customers to submit cards for grading.
No, absolutely. And that's one thing we're doing. We're investing in new markets. I'm
Mhm.
hiring a team here of I think we're hiring 13 people to start over the next couple months. We have
Wow.
a full-time marketing position
Oh,
just for the Canadian market.
nice.
We're
Good.
already we've got a ton of people that have applied, and hopefully I'll be hiring for that position in the next 30 days. That's going to
Brad,
make
you told me I
my
was hired. What are you
yeah.
talking about?
It's gonna make,
Could you
it's gonna make
imagine?
like all these things, Josh and Phil, that you said about education. All these things we're going to do that I have a vision that we're going to do, that I work with
Mhm.
somebody that's a marketing expert that's going to get this stuff out there. These are all
Mhm.
things we're going to do to work on. Because again, I really want to pull back the curtain a little bit and explain the process,
Yeah.
because when I can explain it on a podcast, or I can explain it, that saves me a dozen phone calls a day or 20 emails a day.
Mhm.
I get random every day 30 to 40 emails, which is great. And I love trying to answer everyone in a timely manner. But hey, I got some cards. How does this work? Like that's and you just look at it and you go, oh,
Yeah,
okay,
go to the tutorial now, you know?
yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. We have a tutorial and I couldn't really do that. We do have one for PSA card.com in the US, but the process was different than that we have. So we didn't really make these educational because we are changing. We're building our own online submission center that's going to mirror the US. So every feature in the US, we're going to have in Canada. It's going to
Awesome.
be fantastic for us, right? But with
Mhm.
all this stuff going on, the biggest problem that we've had over the last 30 days, I'm going to say 30 days, don't hold me to exact, it's tariffs. I
Yeah.
don't even like to say the word, but we have a team of legal experts that are working behind the scenes trying to figure out everything that we have to do. So my time has been focused on this and globally, not just for Canada, but for
Mhm.
everywhere. So China's currently has the 10% tariffs that are attached to it now, and there's there's just a lot of unknowns. So that's been the biggest thing for me. The biggest concern that I have is dealing with this. So
Well,
That's
you
some
had the
collective.
Canada Post strike before that, right?
Yeah, Canada Post strike before that affected a ton of clients. Fortunately for us, we use FedEx and UPS. We do use Canada
Mhm.
Post for some rural PO boxes, but it doesn't really affect us too much. Most people were able to make an adjustment on that, but yeah, it did affect submission. So we're doing all this, and then we're seeing an unprecedented amount of cards coming through the doors as well.
Yeah,
So
but yeah,
there's
I
been
thought
so
everyone
many
hates grading though. But yeah,
new,
every month is more and more.
right? And
Mhm.
then our PSA Canada office has been downsized to back to me as the sole employee of PSA Canada, because we're hiring new staff in Toronto, and the two people that we had, one person's off long-term disability, but he's doing good, and Matt, who was with our team, is now no longer because he's in Halifax. He has two young kids. His wife's a school teacher, and he's not going to relocate. So
It's always the kids ruining everything, man. Same here, you
but
know.
so now we're down to back to a team of one, and unfortunately, I'm having some help from the staff at AMG has
Mhm.
been fantastic helping me out. So there hasn't been anything that affects our customers, but every day now it's just the amount of parcels that are coming through globally, like into the US, into Japan, into PSA Canada. It's the most
Mhm.
cards that I've ever seen coming through the doors over the last 2 months. That's for sure.
Is a lot of it TCG? Not to bring up that word, but is that
Yeah, I think I don't know the exact numbers as of today, but we're about 50-50.
okay?
Wow.
Yeah,
Holy crap. This
yeah,
is Canada. That's crazy. What's going
yeah.
on?
Yeah, if you look at Canada, it's gotta be 50-50 between
Wild.
TCG.
Mhm.
The one thing that we're not seeing as much as other areas is our big one is Pokemon. We
Yeah.
don't get a lot of Magic. We don't get a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh or One Piece. It's
Mm.
very few. It's overwhelming Pokemon cards, that's for sure. Off the charts.
Can you take a minute to explain what maybe a little more detail about what it is, but more importantly, what the value is for Canadians and having an online submission center in Canada?
Yeah. So the big thing is you'll get all the features. So you'll be able to track your order progress. You'll be able to
Mhm.
see your grades. You'll be able to vault your cards if you choose to vault your cards. You can sell your cards instantly on eBay. You can get the cards shipped back for you. All these things that, like currently the process with PSA Canada, we're very old school. I have my Google Doc sheets that we created, myself and Sherry, back 4.5 years ago when we took over the business from Len. And you can imagine, we get an order come in, it's on a paper copy. We have to go into the online submission center. We have to enter every card into the online submission center where the customer is going to do that. So it's going to make it a lot easier, and it's going to speed up the process for everyone. People, they'll be able to know when their submission arrives, when it's done, when it's completed. Currently, we have our customer base has to reach out to us to request their submission number that's generated usually within a week after we receive the order. We get it entered and we get it shipped out. Trying to get it in 2 or 3 days, but as you can imagine, sometimes you just get overwhelmed with packages. So the process is just going to be, it's fantastic for everybody involved, for us,
Nice.
for me, and for the customer. Because I think the whole vault and sell to eBay is something that we're going to see a lot of growth. Like if you're Phil, if you wanted to sell a card, you bought a collection, you picked out the cards you wanted, and then you said, I don't really care about these guys. I don't care about Sebastian Aho's Young Gun. Yeah, you know what? I'll send that in and grade it. You send it in, it gets a PSA 10. You're like, now I got to ship that card back to me. Then I got to decide how I'm going to sell this card. Oh, you know what? I'm going to ship it to a consignor. And there's lots of great consignors, so I'm not taking away anything from consignors.
We might know a couple, yeah.
But the whole process is it's a long process. When you look at your order and all of a sudden you say, I want to send back to Chuck, Batherson, Sanderson, Stutzel. Yep, I want all those guys back, but this one's going to go to the vault, and I'm going to sell it on eBay, and it's going to be sold in the next week, and the money's going to hit your bank account in 2 days.
Yeah, one-stop shop, baby.
You didn't have to touch it. You get back what you want because you want your cards in your hand, just like me.
Odd question. Can I know your PSA.
Yeah.
Can I take advantage of this service with non-PSA cards? I don't mean BGS. I mean a raw card. Like if I have a raw high gloss and I really like your services, can I take advantage of your services and choose not to grade my card?
Currently, not with raw cards. Currently,
okay.
Yeah,
maybe in the future.
Continue to use the great services we have in
yeah. You know what? One sec, Josh. I want to segue into something really quick. But stay on topic. Anyone listening, Brad is a collector. I'm going to say first in your heart, but obviously, your job pays the bills, but you're a perfect blend of both. And that's why I clicked with you. And I think Josh clicked with you right away because collectors recognize collectors, and you are wearing a PSA shirt, but my word to everybody, the good listener, Brad is there's nobody better to represent us at PSA or another entity that is a big third party in our hobby than Brad. And there's, hopefully we get more guys like you to weigh both in a healthy way. So I just want people to know that you are a massive hockey card collector. You don't talk about it a lot, but that means the world to me. And I would think that would mean a lot to other people listening as well.
Well, that I really appreciate that. That was
You're
very
welcome.
kind of lost a little bit there. I don't know if it was that or the red book.
Yeah.
Hear that. Thank you, Phil.
You're welcome.
World, when is this online submission center for Canada up and operational?
So we were shooting for Q2. It's looking closer to Q3 now. As you can imagine, the one good thing is for us internationally is we're building, Canada, we're doing a lot of the legwork first from a product and tech side. So once that's done, we'll be able to use that in other markets that we're expanding to as well. So to get it right the first time, and obviously it's a learning experience for a lot of our team because we're doing it in we need English and French for everything.
Whew.
Yeah.
That's a process, and that's so important that we represent, because Quebec, New Brunswick, everyone, you don't have to be in those two provinces to speak French, but there's
a lot there.
There's a lot of people across the country that speak French, and to have that access, it's very good. I'm very excited for that. It will definitely help things.
You gonna hit up the expo again, or because you're in this transit, like in 3 years, you're gonna be a lot more relaxed, right? You might have less hair like me, but you'll be a lot more relaxed, right? You'll have a rhythm.
It gets grayer as the night, like later at night. It's grayer. So
as the days go on, you're laying a foundation, right? You don't want to work this hard in 20 years, even in 5 years. It's bonkers. You want a rhythm and whatnot. So are you going to take the expo off and just eat it a bit, or no? Hey, you're going full tilt?
Yeah, we're going full tilt.
Attaboy.
The expo is, as we all know,
Yeah.
It's the greatest event there is, especially in Canada. What Menzie has taken over and how he has grown that and built that, it's unbelievable. I want to get away and be more Brad the Collector and get to walk and do things, but at the end of the day, it's kind of like this is the most important day for PSA in Canada. It's the most important weekend, and those 4 days, Brad the Collector gets put on the back burner because my job to help people that entrust me with giving their cards. It's remarkable how many packages you get in the mail, but in person, people come up and they got questions, and you're trying to remember. You're putting names to faces, and you're building these relationships up that you have with these people that have entrusted you. And it gets stronger and stronger as the years go on. So April we'll be doing take-home submissions only, and we're already booked in for November to do on-site again.
Wow.
It's a great success, and it's a testament to the amount of people that submit cards to us in the Canadian market, and I love it.
Yeah, it should be. Cannot wait to get back to the expo. So you mentioned a few minutes ago that submissions have been very strong. What's your overall, as long as we have you on the show, what's your sense of the market, where the market's at right now? Are we good? Are we healthy? Are you excited about the future?
Yes, like beyond excited. When I listen to anybody that says the market's on a downturn and this, I don't know what world they're living in, because every show I go to is packed. People are buying and selling. eBay's sales are off the charts. Sherry runs AMG Collectibles. It's the largest collectible store, and Steve Potty, our general manager, largest collectible store in Atlantic Canada. And
It is? I didn't even know that. I should go out there and visit. I should do a content video. Perfect excuse.
There you go. It's 5,700 square feet.
But, Sherry, I have news. I don't know if it's good or bad, but you need to be aware.
But no, it's up and down. Right? The hobby is absolutely great, and I see more and more collectors and submissions coming through, and it's people like, oh, I've had these. It's the same things. It's a little bit wash, rinse, repeat, but it's. You'd think at some point I'd stop getting the question every day. Like every day, I get an email or a phone call in regards to Gretzky rookie, and it's the same thing.
Think this is a 6?
I found this. I've had this card forever. It hasn't touched it. It's mint. It's in plastic.
Is it a 10?
What do I do? What's the price range? I'm like, anywhere from 500 to 5 million.
Yeah.
No, that's
bunch of normies, eh? Oh, they're always in my way. They're so annoying.
At some point, this is going to stop, and it's like, no. Like, I think we graded about a dozen 52 mantles on site in the last 2 shows, and I know right now for November we already have 5 people that are flying in with 52 mantles to grade.
Jeez.
And I'm like,
holy crap!
Is this going to happen continuously? And maybe it's
Brad, do you think, who did we have? Josh, I forget who said it. Remember we both were like, do you think there's cases of O-Pee-Chee 7980 unopened? And the guy was like, oh, for sure there are. Who was that? Was it I don't know, we had a guest on
2 days ago. So yeah.
I don't know. So
Brad, we'll ask you that question, Brad. Do you think there's more 79 O-Pee-Chee cases that are sealed,
or boxes, or anything like old in some attics, or are we still in that window of time that we can?
I do. I definitely think there's boxes. Yeah, I absolutely do.
That's crazy, man.
I mean, we had a find in 2019 that was the biggest find of my life. That I still can't believe that it happened.
Yeah, what was it? Don't spill the beans, man.
Oh, it was huge. I won't get into too many of the details, but it was. I mean, it was.
Give us a taste. Come on, a little taste.
Nobody's listening, Brad. It's just me.
Nobody's listening. No one watches our show.
Yeah, our ratings are terrible.
There's 52 mantles. There was every year from 64, 65 up to 89, 90. But like when I say mint, 66, 67 tops cards, that there was 4 or 5 complete sets. The guy that did what he did is he was autistic, and he'd open up the packs, keep the wrappers, keep the gum, keep the box, and put the cards, elastics around the cards, and put them back in the box. So when I seen, like, I took a stack of 66, 67, and no exaggeration, you could blow the powder from the gum off the front of the cards.
Oh my
God. I think I still got that.
I knew it. We just had to get him out of the chair.
I'm really good at buttering people up, though.
like this is from that collection. So this is what I kept a bunch of these. So that's
What the heck is that?
It's a wrapper, and inside is the gum. So I had wrappers from every year with the gum intact. He would save the gum as well as the wrappers.
Why didn't PSA grade that?
I know, eh?
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I gave one of these to Bobby Burrell. It was quite the thing.
Okay.
So back to
Send it
that.
to Phil, he'll eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I won't eat it. I'm not crazy. I would have a long
You
time
would
ago. but I'm not
100%, dude. You would 100%.
It's brown. It's actually like underneath there. I took it out. It's brown now. It's not pink anymore. It's pretty disgusting.
Gross.
Get a few in me.
That's
You
what
never
you
know.
said. I do think there's a ton of stuff out there,
Yeah. Eh?
especially in Canada. But a sealed case of 79.
Okay, no, that's
an anomaly. Yeah.
What about like do you think within the next 10 to 20 years we could find like that classic garage sale addict like Bobby Orr? Like this has to be a 10. You know what I mean? And like, oh really, eh? Okay, so in our lifetime, we're all around the same age. So I kind of thought the treasure finds are gone, you know?
Nope, not a chance. There's still a lot out there, and you see it. I mean, I get to see it every day with the Submission Center because at AMG, there's at least a dozen people that come in every day to sell collections and sell cards.
Really, eh?
And you just never know. Like you just
the Saskatoon show, like if you look at central Canada, the neighbors are kilometers apart. You're telling me there's no one in the prairies? Like there's got to be. I used to collect silver coins. I mean, I still do. I'm just not that much. And I used to coin roll hunt. So my ex-girlfriend worked at a bank. And I would give her like $1,000 to bring home rolls of coins because the bank was in the country. I cleaned up. I found silver quarters that were all worth like $10, $15. I made thousands of dollars just finding silver coins from banks in the country. So I always think of that with hockey cards, right? Absolutely. Is there a Bobby Orr somewhere? None of it, you know? Like
Phil mentions the Saskatoon show. Have you heard of what we're trying to call Hockey Card Burning Man?
No,
Four guys were trying to turn their show into like Walter S. Tom. No, who is the
no, that is it. We're gonna put the base cards on fire, aren't we? Is that bad? Should we not do that? I don't know.
No, Hunter S. Thompson, Walter S. Thompson. Jeez, yeah, we're trying to turn it into a Hunter S. Thompson kind of thing. Okay, so another thing I'm curious about is, with your wife owning AMG and you PSA Canada, like what are trends within the hockey hobby you're noticing? Like, are there products like sealed wax that people are really going after, or players that are? I mean, is it like all Shimmy Shakes, Lane Hudson, or Greeny?
Obviously, Lane Hudson definitely has the fire right now. There's no doubt about it. I opened 17 boxes of Clear Cut, me and Sherry, the other night.
Ooh. Did you hit anything good?
No, it was absolutely terrible. Terrible.
Look what I hit.
He has it right there. It's like,
hold on,
all day.
Why is it not focusing? I'm sorry. Anyways, it's a Connor Bedard 90. Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah, I hit that.
You open them with one box.
You would know, Brad, if you were on Friday nights with Phil. I opened it live.
Opened one box.
One box. I'll send you the link.
Loaded box content creator? Is that what is this?
Well, out of the box in Ottawa. Yeah, I know. I was worried I was going to get that. Of course, Upper Deck gave that to Phil. I'm like, I actually don't think they like me. So it's like, they're not good. They're mad I got that card. They're like, who gave him that card?
Yeah. No, that's awesome. No, honestly, the usual is still like young guns drive the hockey card hobby. Mm-hmm. And I don't see that changing anytime soon. Yeah. It's so much fun watching people drop off their submissions and get the cards back. And yeah, you can get an 8, you get a 9. Sometimes if it's me, I can get a 6 on a young gun. But yeah, the Lane Hudson has been great because there's a lot of people I've seen submit them and drop them off and pick them up in person. We're probably getting 20 to 25 people every day coming in to pick up their orders. So you get to see the reveals.
Oh, wow.
And 9 times out of 10, it's an enjoyable experience. There's obviously ones that when you have the altered, recolored, there's a lot of things are counterfeit cards, especially in the Pokemon world, which is coming more and more that we're seeing come through the door. It makes it very difficult, but it's fun. And so Lane Hudson, prime example, like that card went up. I think PSA 10s are going for $700 to $1,000. Crazy. And there's lots of guys, and they said, "What are you going to do?" I was like, "Sell it now."
Yeah,
I love
definitely.
He's fantastic, but buy it back. You know what's going to happen. We know the trend.
I want to bring something up, and I don't want to bring it up for the wrong reason. And I remember Pokemon CSG just graded those 1,500. So as a company, I guess that's something you have a team meeting about and say, this is why we're trying to be as good and efficient and tight with grading as we can in our authenticating, because this can happen. And that is, I mean, CSG will be fine ultimately. That's just, you don't want that to happen to your company, right? So was that talked about? Continuing best practices, make sure, we're filling out the forms right and coming to work focused.
Phil, when you see so I know that card particular, like we as a company don't grade that card.
Okay.
There's reasons
why.
Found out why. But our team that we have is like off the charts. I don't even know the size of our research team. We have counterfeit and fraud protection team.
Cool.
It's a massive operation. Like behind the scenes, all the things that people don't get to see what goes on. And I do hope that someday we'll pull back the curtain a little bit more and do a tour. Like I took a tour of the whole facility when I was a dealer. I didn't work for PSA. They gave me a tour, and it was, I think I mentioned it to you guys before. I know I did talk to you about it, Josh. It was one of the greatest things that I've ever done in my life. I felt like it was my golden ticket going into the chocolate factory. And I was
that's awesome.
I
Great
was in awe of
analogy.
everything. And then I had 30 minutes to sit down with a grader, and I had a list. I had a yellow pad with a gazillion questions, and
get us to go there with the clipboard.
No, I was just gonna say, and you used Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. I'm gonna make myself seem really old, but I was picturing like me and Phil being like Laverne and Shirley at the bottling factory, like high-fiving each other at PSA. That'd be kind of fun.
Thelma and Louise is better. No, more fun.
Honestly, if you do have the opportunity to see that, or we do pull back the curtain a little bit more. And I'm not saying we're going to do this, but when I'm
pretty sure you just promised that Phil and I get to go.
I think we just pinky swear the guy, didn't we?
Louis, Louis, we're recording, right? Thank you.
When you see the whole process, like it really, I mean, it's just a massive operation, and you can imagine that grading, 50,000 cards out of Santa Ana every day, and the boxes coming in. It's
PSA is the top dog. Like it's 10x to everyone. You don't have to say it. I said it for you. Yeah. I think if this came to fruition, this multimedia interactiveness, hire an entertainment team with your research team, and I would love to get to know. The hobby would be great if they knew like 5 cool graders. Like, hey, it's Greg. Here's my Instagram channel. I work for PSA. Today I'm grading, blah, blah, blah. It would take 20 years for another company to challenge you instead of like the 10 it would take now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just think it would just that boom up, right? Yep. Boom. Like I just think it would love, and you guys are in the position to do so. If you want me at your next Board of Governors meeting, just let me know. I'll free up my schedule.
But honestly, Phil, it's important for feedback. Like I take this all in. My life is, I'm going to say 24/7 cards in my job and my life. Like it's part of who I am, and I love every moment. 99% of the time, I love every moment of it. I just contradicted myself.
We're the 1%, Josh.
Yeah, there's a lot that you got to.
If you're not careful, Brad, I'm going to ask you more about the controversy. So choose your words carefully.
I know.
Unedited. Mm-hmm. This is actually live right now. Okay.
It's so true. Sorry, now I just completely lost my train of thought.
That's what we do here.
Yeah, we're a gong show. Yeah.
We're a gong show. I'm sure it was great.
Yeah.
Okay, now you're a collector, as Phil mentioned. Any interesting PC pickups? Anything that you're very excited about that you've gotten recently?
Oh yeah, I've been on a little bit of a mission. Let me see. Just give me one sec.
What do you think he's gonna get? He's a Gretzky guy. I know he's a big Gretzky guy.
Sure, a Pokemon card.
Oh,
probably been poisoned like the rest of the hobby.
He's not bringing a Pokemon card. Brett doesn't like Pokemon. It's business likes Pokemon.
I do have a respect for Pokemon, but I picked up these bad boys.
That was a private conversation, sir.
PSA 9 Cole Caulfields.
Okay.
I had a dealer set up, and I got 23 of them, which was great.
Do you get to poach the submissions? That's what I would be doing. I'd be like, hey, I'll pay you right now for that card, brother. That's what I would do.
We do have.
Okay, well, can you explain to me the thought process there?
The guy, I walked by his table, and I was like, wow, you got 20? Like, he had them all spread out, and they looked awesome. He had $75 on them. I love that card, and I love PSA 9s. I absolutely love, especially on a modern card. I love PSA.
Yeah, it's a new thing. I seen.
You
I
wheel
met
and
a
deal
guy-
a little bit then, and like get a little bit of a bulk deal.
Yeah, so I just said, and he had $75 each on them. I'm like, that's a good price, $75 for a PSA 9 Cofield. And I said, how much would you take if I bought all of them? And he said $1,000. I was like, that's fantastic. I will
Oh,
take
$50
those.
each. There you
Good
go.
deal, man.
So I got those.
48.
got him
Kid's
this-
the real deal. You see him play? Oh,
Oh, he's awesome. I think
crazy good. Crazy good.
Then I
He's
bought
from
a
Wisconsin though, but that's okay. I
I
like him.
bought a Gretzky collection.
I told you. Oh, wow. That's a big one.
The Lemieux, Gretzky, Yzerman.
Yzerman.
That's a big one, Brad. Yeah.
Then I think I might have this one already.
Oh, do you like the epic signatures? The whites is too big. Yeah.
Memories. Yeah, just
Okay.
memories for me of that.
Okay.
Another Gretzky, marks of distinction.
Oh, nice.
Mm.
I got that. I don't like those. I'm not a big fan of the minis, but
See, he's like me. He says he buys.
You can throw it
cards
away.
he
I'll
doesn't
take
like.
it.
yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
The red ink on that one's cool. I like
Yeah.
that.
Gorgeous.
This one's awesome.
Oh,
Ooh.
banger. Sign of the time, singular.
So bold. The signature, if you see it, like it
That
just
auto
pops
is
out.
amazing.
Pressed on it, hard.
You got this Gretzky.
I've never seen a card like that.
Yeah, that one.
Is that a General's? Is that an Oshawa? No, that's Lindros. What am I talking about?
CHL. Yeah, it's a CHL. It was from the UD Prospects.
Okay.
That's a
Okay.
tough one to get to. Gretzky achievement.
Ooh.
There's a lot. There's like 15 Gretzky autos, but this was the big daddy.
Wow, that is a big. I'd rather the other one.
Is that all
I'd
hard
rather
signed?
do-
Hard sign. So I only collect hard sign.
Sticker snob.
I don't have a sticker in my collection.
Attaboy, Brad. Me neither.
Not my thing. So I
Yeah.
got those. Then I got some other cool. This was awesome.
Oh,
Ooh.
yes. Guy Lafleur in the Quebec.
On card, and it's number 2 of 3. They only made 3 of those ones.
In Ultimate. That's an Ultimate.
Yeah.
Weird.
Well, what I also like about that card,
3 of 5. Yeah.
so many of his patch autos or jersey autos are like different different photo, different uniform. That's actually a Quebec jersey and a Quebec
Yeah.
photo. I like.
Yeah.
That was a nice
So,
one. John Beliveau.
That's cool. Game worn.
I don't even know that
and-
card. Is that an
yeah.
exquisite card?
It's an exquisite. It's
Okay.
just, again, it's cheaper, but
Do you have any Gretzky refractors from Blast from the Past?
yeah, I have that set.
You do? Oh, it's in a set. Okay. Yeah. Brad, keep your eyes open. This is my favorite hockey card. I always try to buy more.
I don't know. Oh, I got this one in another collection. You guys might Alex Tanguay. What a
Ooh.
patch.
That patch.
So
Beautiful.
I knew you would know Alex Tanguay, but he played for the
Yeah.
Halifax Mooseheads.
Okay.
He had a concussion issues starting in junior, but he was one of the best players I've ever seen play.
You know
the game.
Alex Tanguay, Josh.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
very
yeah.
unfortunate, but he was one of the best players I've ever seen play hockey, and I was on the ice with him a bunch. So
Wow, that's
Um,
cool.
yeah, I've been picking up all kinds of cool stuff. So part of the thing as well is with your job. Some people could say, is there a conflict of interest sometimes if you're buying? Like you asked, do you get to see things?
Oh, yeah. I guess you can't
We do
poach.
have rules. We
Oh,
have. It's easy for me because everything I buy, or if I do sell a card, I'm always using the proceeds to fund my collection to buy more cards. So it's one of our guidelines as a PSA employee. Like you can't run a side
Hustle.
business, but as long as you're improving your collection. And the only thing in the world that I really do with my money, besides my family, is buy more cardboard, right?
And flowers for Sherry, of course.
And flowers
Oh.
for Sherry.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so I said to Sherry about, 3 months ago, so would you like to go to Montreal for Valentine's Day? I said, I'd love to take you up there for the weekend. She was like, really? I said, yeah, absolutely. We'll just go up. I said, it'll be fantastic. Just me and you. She's like, this is awesome. Yep. I said, there happens to be a hockey game just coincidentally on Saturday night. That might be the biggest game since 2010 Olympics. Four Nations Cup. Finland plays Sweden Saturday at 1:00 and US plays Canada Saturday.
Wow.
So Valentine's Day, Friday night, we're
Amazing.
going to have a lovely time. And then Saturday, Team Canada jerseys coming on.
Good for you, sir.
We're going
Got
all
Sherry a bowling ball with your name on it.
Yeah, yeah. Hartlin the romantic. Sylvain and I'll
That's-
FaceTime you Friday night for
Yeah.
Valentine's Day. Yeah, it'll be good.
Well, are you feeling good about your squad? in that matchup with the USA? Or are you nervous?
No, I am confident. We have
Really?
Yeah, me too.
yes, we
Yeah,
have to
go
be.
Canada. I'm a little
It's
nervous, man. What is he?
Well,
It is
Phil's
good.
boy, Jake Sanderson, just got named to Team USA.
I know he's so
Yeah.
good. Love you, Jake.
Yeah.
I was going to say too. The last thing I just wanted to grab over there because you did say Phil, but I collect coins as well.
Oh, what do you got there?
It's all the
Nice.
silver dollars. So
Okay, yeah.
I want to get them in graded and encapsulated. So I have every one from
Okay.
44 or
Wow.
what was the first year? The 1948 is the big one that I used to get with my.
Yeah, 47 has a bit of silver in it, I think. I can't remember. It's been like a few years, and I
48
like
it's
junk
like-
silver as well, like numismatics with just pre-38s and whatnot.
Yeah.
They're
It was
big
kind of a
fans.
deal here in Minnesota when you guys like made the gold loony things. I remember
Yeah.
my grandma made some.
You mean our dollar?
Sure.
Yeah, it's not that hard. We have a hey, the orange guy just said he's not printing more pennies today, so that's good.
Yeah.
We don't have a penny in Canada either.
I
Hey,
was
Brad, what's in your silverware drawer? Go get it.
Got a lot of loonies though.
I was saying to Ryan Miller, who I think I mentioned before on the show, who's head of international at PSA and just a fantastic guy. He's originally from Michigan, moved to California when he took the role with PSA, and I was just explaining the importance of Saturday night's game. Like, yes, it's just a hockey game, but it's more than that to me. Like who do I think? Obviously, I'm going to say I think Canada's going to win, but we're so evenly matched on things, and it could go either way. It's one game, and then we'll have the final in Boston the next week. And I am so excited for that because these guys, they're ready to play. They're playing for the pride. The U.S. is playing for pride.
Mid-season form too, right? They're in the grind.
Oh yeah.
Do you think the players care? That's the biggest thing to me is I want them to care, and then I'll be all in. If they're loafing around like Kucherov at an All-Star game, then it's going to suck.
I think that it's going to be one of the greatest hockey games that we can ever see. I truly
Whoa, who is this guy? Really?
Yeah,
eh?
I do. I honestly, I do. I think
I hope
you
so.
you got the best players and they're ready to play. And even more so now, unfortunately, I wish this never happened. I love everybody, the majority of people south of the border, Josh. But there's an extra little spice.
He doesn't
in
like
there.
you, Louis.
Sorry, Ed Louis, yes. No, but there's an extra spice right now. And
Oh, yeah.
Canada, US, it just adds another little thing to it. And you need
Good ribbon, right? Ribbon between buddies. We're just trying to figure it out. That's all.
Yeah, we'll figure it out, and we'll be back, and we'll have our bromance.
Everything will be great. Everything's fine. As my mom says, everything's fine. Everything's just fine.
What player do you think, or players from any country, it could be Canada, US, or Sweden or Finland, that do you think have the most hobby upside by crushing it in Four Nations?
Braden Point.
What?
Really?
That's your pick, Braden Point?
Who if you look at percentage wise on upside, too many people don't understand how good he is.
My son does. It's one of his favorite players. Loves
All
Braden.
right.
He says the most underrated player in the whole league.
But if you look, what's going to happen? This is coming. This is the dream.
Crosby,
Oh, wow.
Marchand, McKinnon.
So
Wow, you're prepared for this.
So these are they're from Halifax. I went to the All-Star game and I took a picture, not this exact picture, but similar to this of all three. And I said, I think that would be awesome if I get it signed. So I actually we did 100 prints that I had done. We sent them to Marchand first. He signed them all. Then we sent them, they went to Colorado for McKinnon. They went back to Toronto at Framesworth and Crosby signed. It took about 3 or 4 months to get them done. We sold out instantly and that was back. But them three to play together, they're all buddies. It's going to be awesome.
How did you, Brett? That is amazing. That's an amazing story. How you got that. So how do you have to deal with their agents, or maybe I'll talk to you after about that. That sparked a little fire in me. That was a beautiful picture, an amazing idea.
Oh yeah, it was awesome. So
I'll talk to you after about. That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you a homework question, but try to be objective. You've got one game to win for whatever is most meaningful to you: Stanley Cup, Olympics, Four Nations.
Stanley Cup, guaranteed.
And you get to pick one player to center your top line for the team. The other one can't be on the team. You taking McKinnon or McDavid?
And not even close, in my opinion. There's one elite beyond super elite player in the world right now, and it's Connor McDavid. Again,
Oh, okay.
I think he has separated himself when he's on from every other player in the league. And McKinnon's a superstar and he's awesome. And there's so many other guys that are, but I just think McDavid, he's the greatest skilled hockey player ever to lace up skates. He does things that no other person has ever done at speeds that no one else has done. And it's incredible to watch, that's for sure.
He has a gear I've never seen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just a gear that goes up, just like, Guy Lafleur had an extra gear than Maurice Richard did. Not taking anything away from Maurice Richard, but it's that extra athleticism, better skates, better gloves.
It's true. I remember when I was playing junior, we played against the Victoriaville Tigre at the Quebec Colisée, and there was 17,000 people there. And it was crazy. And I was fourth line. Anyways, that was the game that Alexander Dagg, the NHL lockout happened, and Dagg came back to play junior with Victoriaville. And this is when I knew there was a difference between like really, really good and just another whole level.
Yeah.
I remember we were lined up and we were the fourth line. We were out. They switched up lines. And Dad came out on the ice. I remember looking at Joe Canelli was our coach. He had the look of death. And I just stared at him like, don't let him go. Like, don't let him go. And I was like, no problem. And I was like, all right, I got it. And I watched Alexander Dagg turn to the left. And I went, and I remember this so vividly. I don't remember very many things at all from the days, like specific moments. And he was gone. And I was like, oh shit. Where's the up behind the net, went down, scored, never played again that whole game, sat on the bench. I was like, what was I supposed to do? This guy was
he's just that good.
He was that good. He was that fast. It was just
I'm physically incapable of stopping that hockey player.
Yeah, not a chance.
On the bench, Hartlin.
Okay, I have a follow-up McDavid question then. Hockey's a team game. I'm not going to argue that he's not the most talented player in the world, and maybe ever, right? Done talent alone. But talent of one player does not win championships.
Correct.
15 years from now, when his career's over, if he has no Stanley Cups, is he more like Marcel Dion in the hobby or more like Mario Lemieux? I'm talking about just like stature. Obviously, Mario Lemieux won cups, but does he have to? Do you have to win it all to be considered an all-time hobby GOAT?
Yes, I think you do. I honestly, yes, you have to win. And I really hope he does win at some point. But you have
Me too.
I look at it from this standpoint now, being a Gretzky fan growing up, my idol, everything was the Edmonton Oilers. I lived or died what the Oilers did every day. Just watching, you check used to have the scroller and you could see the highlights, not the actual highlights, but you could see who scored the goals and who got assists. It was on channel 54 or something. Anyways, I lived to watch that. And I never thought someone would ever compare to Gretzky on my Mount Rushmore, and then come along this Sid the Kid. And I don't know how, he revolutionized the game. He changed the game from a fitness aspect. He was the leader that all of a sudden, you couldn't have that beer before the game, or you couldn't have a smoke outside before you went on the ice, like back in the 70s. And he just said, now you have to live and breathe being a hockey player. Like if you want to be an elite player in the league, there's exceptions. We have our Phil Kessels and there's a very few, but in today's game, he changed that. And he's proven he's won every trophy. He's won 3 cups. He's won Olympic gold. He's won world.
He's a winner. He's a champion.
He's a winner. And that's something. I think he's 21-0 as captain of Team Canada in those last 20, whatever that stat that's circling around. But he's a winner, and he's just the classiest, nicest, most genuine person I have ever met. That is a superstar. It's almost like you think it's just flawless. Like he's got to make mistakes somehow, and he hasn't up to this point. It's remarkable.
I feel like my new love for Sidney Crosby. I have a huge man crush on him this year. I feel like we've watched him mature into the man. Like we all watched him when he was younger and junior, and then with Rimouski, and then now he's a man. And we watched that. I'm a dad, so maybe I'm getting soft in that part. But he's younger than me, and he's not my idol. One of them, right? Like he was bad at faceoffs. Okay, I'll be the best at faceoffs next year. Watch, and he did it. And he's a winner, and he's a champion, and I admire him greatly. Yeah. And totally agree, man.
I'm there. Yeah, it's another whole level, that's for sure. So now I got him, then I got Gretzky, then I have to have Bobby Orr, even though I didn't watch him play, but from every person that I respect in the hockey world, A lot of them have him as their number 1, but I think, and then you have Mario at number 4, and then I put in Belleville at number 5. Is my
Wow. Okay, I like it.
yeah. And then I mean, it's so hard. It's all subjective, but you got Rocket and Howe and everyone else. I mean, I don't know, but
You don't have Gordie Howe in your top 5, right? Get him off the show. Get him off the show. No, can't.
Yeah.
Well, you
It's
just
hard
lost
when
your
you haven't-
invite to the Saskatoon show because you're not going to partying with us on Gordie Howe Bridge.
I like, Brad, how you said you saw players play. I reference that a lot. I went to a lot of hockey games growing up as a kid, living beside the barn. And that changes a lot. When I saw Austin Matthews play, he's stupid good. Like it pisses me right off how insanely good he is. I think he could step it up a bit, but I'll admit that because I saw him play and he's ridiculously professionally, top 10 players, best in the world. And I hate saying that, but watching a player play live changes the perception greatly.
100% for the better or for the worse.
Yes, good point. Thank you.
When I watched Wendell Clark play when he played for the Quebec Nordiques, and I seen him live, and he had, every now and then he touched the puck and he would have that little burst of speed, but every other time where was he? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I love Wendell Clark as the person. I've got to meet him numerous times and had lots of beers with him over the years. And fantastic guy. But you're true. When you see a player play live, it's like I was very fortunate to watch Connor Bedard play for Team Canada for every game at the World Juniors in person here in Halifax.
Nice.
And it was off the charts amazing to watch him and the talent that he had and the desire to win and the goal scoring. And Logan Stankoven is another guy that I could not believe. If I didn't see him play live, I wouldn't be that high on him because he's in Dallas. I don't get to see him very often.
Yeah.
He's teeny tiny.
He's small, but that kid just off the charts good. Like I was like, yeah.
And look at it stays with you, right? Like when you see it with your meat vehicle, like live, like it's
right. Jordan Tutu in 2003 when the World Juniors were here, and Jordan Tutu played for Team Canada, and that guy was just this human machine, like go through the wall and hit guys and body contact, and like he was the greatest player in the tournament for me. Like, you just
love it.
It's the heart and soul of the team. It was awesome.
All right, Brad. Thank you so much. Appreciate you coming on and offering a little bit of clarification. Obviously, great stuff. Good luck to you guys as you continue to build out your online submission center in Canada. And of course, we are back. Much appreciation to Brad from coming on the show to discuss this. I just want to share what I think real quick, and then I'll let you guys chime in. First of all, Gred's just a great person. He's so much fun to hang out with and talk to. And the easy choice for him would have been to pass on this opportunity. So I give him a lot of respect and credit for addressing that. My take on this issue, for whatever it's worth, is I'll take Brad in his word, the company's word, that this has been in the standard for always or a while or whenever. I don't know. I can't exactly remember what he said. Maybe you guys can clarify that. But I also believe that when they updated the site, it was in the spirit of clarity and better representation of the standard. That being said, though, there should have been probably a much better rollout of this. I'm sure in retrospect, the folks at PSA would agree with that. Like, do some videos, do some press releases, work with the media, go on podcasts, whatever it takes, right? To let people know that we're just clarifying. It doesn't really change much from what's happened in the past, if that was their intention. And then maybe if they'd done that, kind of the hubbub around this might have been avoided. I don't know.
Right.
There's a lot of passion around this issue, and obviously we respect that. And people are angered, and some collectors, and so that's what I've been doing the last week, is just kind of soaking everything in. But I'm really grateful that we're able to get, I think, one of the first people to comment on this from the company is to get Brad's take on the issue. What do you guys think?
Billy?
I have a bit of a different take. I'll give an example. A couple of days ago, I mentioned to a friend, a hockey card friend, that Brad was going to be on, and we were excited to talk to him. And I kind of meant more that as a friend thing, because Brad's a huge collector. And my friend said, "Oh, I hope you bring the heat, right? Give him some fire." And I as soon as he said that, I was like, I don't have fire to give. I don't have the heat to give. I don't have a dog in this fight, right? I had my demons I had to deal with this past year, and I dealt with them. And I'm assuming I have no no ill will. It's a service provided. So I understand why people are very passionate. I was extremely passionate a few months ago and a few months before that. But before that, I wasn't. I was a big PSA fanboy. I've leveled out. I've matured, as they say it. I've evolved. But I had my 10 minutes of venting and complaining, right? And I still feel to this moment it's warranted. In this particular issue, the 60-40, 55-45, I'm finding it hard to represent a part of the hobby that I'm not that passionate about this. I don't know. I don't want to say things like, why is everyone so upset? Well, I get upset about things and people wonder why I'm so upset. So it's hard for me to bring a lot of passion to this subject. I don't want people to, get upset if you want, but you said it best. Brad is PSA Canada. He's not Nat Turner. And you want a guy like Brad in his position. He's doing the best he can. And he's so well educated in the hobby. You don't want a jerk in his position, right? Because a jerk wouldn't have even talked to us. He wouldn't have even replied to your email, right? We want to play chess. We don't want to play checkers. And we still asked some hard questions, and he still had to give some hard answers. And I think they were great. I understand why everyone else is upset. I'm having a hard time really getting into this topic. I heard, lastly, I heard somebody in the States, they sent in like 11 or 12 cards 3 days before this news, before the co-op kid changed the website. I'm making a joke, but and he was livid, irate, raised voice. I don't know. He wasn't screaming, but he made a whole YouTube thing about how he wouldn't have sent those cards in. And that I can't get behind that. Like I don't want to get mean, but it's 11 cards, dude. I'll even say you sent 20 in. Like, come on, man. It's a crapshoot to begin with. I don't want to rain on anyone's parade, but that's not a big enough reason for me to get that upset.
I don't think the rollout was handled well, like the messaging. No, and again, it's up to anyone to believe PSA at their word, right? My personal take. I have two things, and then I want to hear what Louis has to say. But I have two. First of all, a comment, and then I guess an opinion. For us to have Brad on here and bring the heat, whatever that means, that means Brad never comes on our show again, and neither does PSA. And we could do that. We could say, why did you, even if we're passionate, not passionate, I don't know what that solves. I guess it's satisfying to people in some way.
Hammer this home. Hammer this point home. We want a podcast forever, not one and done, right? Like Billy. Upper Deck. Blah, 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 blah. Like, okay, let's just yell at Billy. Let's get a really good episode. Let's say we get 1 million views. And oh my God, you guys did amazing. We're local hobby heroes. Upper Deck would never deal with us ever again. What kind of a service have we done the hobby? Garbage. Sorry, I'm stealing your thunder.
I don't believe in like angels and devils when it comes to stuff like this, like where these people can do no wrong, and these other people are mean and they want to destroy the hobby and screw everyone, and their intentions are horrible. Companies make mistakes. I think the rollout of this was not handled well from a messaging standpoint. That's where I would be. Yeah, and so and PSA, like any company that makes a mistake, you have to own it, right? And I'm sure that they are right now. But we want to be a safe space for these people to come on so we can ask those questions when stuff like this happens. And so, and I don't believe, that's why we work with PSA. Do we agree with everything they do? No. Do we love every single thing? No, but I think that in general, they're a good company that tries to do a good thing for the hobby. And obviously they have support, right? Because again, while it's so in vogue to kind of dump on any of the big companies, they get 1.5 million cards graded a month.
I know.
Right.
I know that. That's
Help me understand that.
You can scream into the ether so my biggest gripe, right? And Brad and I disagreed on air, and it was fine. We're still like, I love the man. The upcharges on expensive on higher graded cards, right? I will never agree to that. But I can like something else of the thing, right? Like I can still be friends with Brad and disagree with him about the upcharge, but I'm not going to start screaming into the ether because nothing's coming back. I can have 100 people agree with me, and they do, right? Yeah, Phil, the upcharges, as they're telling me, they're just submitting cards to PSA. They're voting with their wallet.
Yeah, I was
So
just
look
going to
at
say that's the point I was just going to make
Yeah.
is that you get a vote and you vote with your wallet.
Yeah.
And so we can complain all you want about an upcharge, but people are doing it. So
So I stopped yelling. But if
Right.
you ask me, now I feel much better. I feel calmer. I have wisdom. I've evolved. I'll give you my opinion in a much more flat way, I guess, less animated but it's still my opinion. It's just I'm not yelling it. I'm not yelling it. And people can yell. You're allowed to be angry. We are, as human beings, we are allowed to be angry, but don't ruminate. Don't dwell. It's unhealthy. And we live in a gotcha society. And everyone's making videos that they gotcha. We gotcha, PSA. I used the Wayback Machine. I gotcha. Even some people are saying now it's fraud. You're going to get sued. Okay, then sue them. Then sue them.
yeah, that's
Do
like
it.
the whole Pitchfork Nation thing
Yeah, I
that
know.
I'm not
They're
a
not going to
little
do it.
bit
They're just, yeah,
of and this doesn't just happen to PSA. It's sentiment towards eBay. It's sentiment towards Fanatics and all the biggest whatnot or whatever. And there's something about it's like once things become big, people, I don't know what they turn on it. Right? Is that they don't trust the intentions. They feel like it's no longer human. It's more of like the man or the machine.
Well, we're figuring it out though, man. Like the world has changed so drastically in 4 or 5 years. Like drastic, like just gargantuan. Everyone's important. Everyone has a high status because they can tweet something. We're you, me, Louis. We're all figuring this out as parents, as friends, as kids to our parents. It's a very weird time. So I never want to not talk about stuff. I always want to talk about it. Have a discourse, right? Or Discord.
Yeah.
I don't know what word.
Well, and Louis, sorry, I'm gonna get to you right now.
Yeah, I know.
but
Poor Louis has it. Okay,
the-
I gotta stop talking.
Well, he's all, but again, I just want to reiterate that our goal, and I've talked to you guys privately about this too, of course, is that we want to be an environment that these companies are comfortable coming on to talk about. So when issues like this happen, that we get to hear from them.
Yeah.
Right. Because we could be screaming into the ether and they would just say no. Right. And so, and maybe you're right, Phil. Maybe it is that none of us are super big graders and I don't have $2 million in PSA 10s. And so maybe call it a
Yeah.
convenient position for
I
us
don't want to forget about those. Yeah, like please
to have.
100%. I get it. I especially if this is your business. Like Sylvain would be a really good guy to ask, right?
Yeah.
And I'd have talked to him. I don't want to say what he said, but he's pivoting accordingly and he's moving forward quickly, right? Regardless of what his opinion is, you got to roll with the punches.
Well, it seems like
don't,
the cert number or the era of the label might become a lot more important now. Like people might really scrutinize that if it's a newer versus older.
So I can't bring fire to that conversation because that's not part of the hobby I'm paying attention to, right? But I know the majority of, so I don't have an opinion on that.
Louis, what do you think?
Yeah.
Well, you
Go
just
ahead,
said something about the label though, but in the conversation, weren't they going off of this tighter standard for a while and the website just got updated and then now that's when the uproar went off, right?
I'm not,
yes. So
know.
here's my like total wild wild ass.
What's the main thing that everybody? So I'm embarrassed to say this after we talked about Brad. I'm still a little confused. What's the main issue with the serial number thingy? What is?
Well, because the newer, like the 9-digit serial number that represents a card was graded, that people will assume that was graded after they think this change was made, if a change was in fact made. But according to Brad, the standard's been in place for a while. My best guess, if I had to totally guess at the situation, is probably the old website language was a little salesy, right? So in sales, which I've worked in before for a long time, you present the rosiest part of the proposal, right? Because you want somebody to say yes. That's sort of, you put whatever you're selling in the positive light. So if in fact, again, you agree and believe what PSA is saying, that this has been the standard for a while, on their website said, well, you can have up to 60/40, which is probably technically true. But as Brad said, it's really 55/45, but at the discretion of the grader to make small variances from time to time.
Right.
I'm guessing that whether it's lawyers or just product managers or somebody said, we've been saying that it's up to 60/40, but it's really 55/45. We should probably just, for clarity's sake, just change this and then changed it and didn't have messaging around it, and then that kind of puts the worst thoughts in people's minds. Now, some people might that have followed PSA much more closely might disagree, might think that the standard is changing. I can't have an opinion on that. We just wanted to have Brad on to
Mhm.
to kind of hear what the PSA take on it, which I thought he did a fine job explaining.
Right. And none of us, well, me for sure, I'm not the grading police. There was a lot of stuff going on and people wanted to know and wanted answers. Everybody was fired up. Well, we had the opportunity to have somebody on here within the business to give us clarity of what was going on and why they were
Yeah.
doing what it was. Yeah, we can argue till we're blue in the face that it wasn't rolled out right. They can't do this. This is going to wreck this of my cards and blah, blah, blah. How many times do we hear these guys are collectors too?
Yeah, and again, Louis, I think based on what you're saying, I'll just stress what I said in my little preamble to the interview. Our goal is not to give you just our opinions, because what is my opinion worth?
Right.
What's what are Phil and Louis? I mean, nothing, right? It's just an opinion. Let's get you guys information so you can make up your mind.
Yeah,
You
that's
can
right.
decide what you think the good or bad or right or wrong
Right.
is in
That's what
any
I was going to
situation.
say. I was going to go there. I don't have a dog in the fight. We were just there to get somebody to talk and give everybody listening or watching, the information, and you
Yeah.
can chew on it how you want, you know?
And that's
Yeah.
okay.
And
That's you
that's
don't have
what
to. I
that's what we're
disagree with.
happy to be here for.
Yeah.
I'm happy to have people come on and say, "This is what we're doing," or "This is what we screwed up." Either way, we want both sides of the spectrum just to
Mhm.
put the news out there,
And move forward, because
I
guys,
have
everyone moves forward anyways. Never in history has society moved forward so quickly. But when they're very hard hitting, passionate
Mhm.
little needle point moments, right? Wah! And then the next thing, move on to the next thing. Wah! And I think us dudes, it's bled into hockey cards, it's bled into sports, and we're all kind of, not us, but some people, me and I have my moments, you guys too. We're freaking out like really bad, really hard, really fast, and you don't
If
have
you
to.
want something to change, you need to do something about it yourself then. If
Yeah.
you are mad that they're anything, if you're mad about upcharges, if you're mad about what they just did, anything else, stop sending cards to them then. But you
Yeah.
keep doing it. So obviously they're not doing anything wrong. They just graded 60,000 cards yesterday. If you don't like something, stop buying
Mhm.
it. That's the only way to show it. So,
Mhm. But again,
I don't
we're not trying to diminish the counterpoint either, right? Like,
know.
I know last week on Jeremy's Sports Cards Live, they had a very impassioned debate on this,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of people upset, and it was great to hear, and I love to hear that side of the story too. And I think for us to communicate to everyone, none of this is good or bad or right or wrong, but how our show works is we want to present the information and let you decide, and
Mhm.
not
Yeah,
and that's
we're not
so we're not ever
attacking
gonna
anyone.
we're not gonna
Sorry,
bring the
not
heat.
happening.
And so yeah, people be disappointed maybe that we didn't, but
No,
that's
that's
just the
okay.
explanation of what we're about.
I'm more interested in Brad's cards. Sorry, I just
Yeah.
am.
That
Like
was
I
fun.
don't know. Like
I like talking
Jared.
to Brad a lot.
Yeah, there's other content. Like if you like the criticism content, there's more of that than what we do, right? So I don't
Mhm.
know. I mean, there's lots of content for everybody. I want to. I don't like this. Good vibes only. We're not a good vibes only. We're going to address crappy things too. I don't believe in good vibes only. No, people are allowed to be upset and angry at what happened. You
Sure.
have that right.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Right. But deal with it, and then let's all
Yeah.
move on and learn from it, kind of thing. Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Beat a dead horse enough there. I think.
I know. My goodness. Let's edit that out.
Let's move on. Now keep it in there. Okay.
All right.
Excited to move on to this next topic though. So I wish I remembered to ask Brad about this story because, well, it would have made sense given that he's at PSA. But when you look at like which cards are most faked, it's pretty interesting info. And this is from like a collect story that PSA about the number of fake cards that they catch and which ones are fake most often. So according to PSA senior brand protection manager Matt Hedler, that's a title, the company was able to detect more than 12,000 counterfeit cards last year.
Holy
Yeah.
crap!
Oh,
Yeah, it does. So
That-
that's
What?
a lot.
Okay, that's
But
crazy.
in the context that they graded like 14 to 15 million cards, somewhere in that range, it is like 0.08% of all
Mhm.
Oh,
cards
okay.
submitted.
All right.
So on the grand scheme, it's not a huge number. But another bit of context that PSA added that is more germane, I think, to your feelings, Phil, is
What does
that
that mean? I don't know what that means. More germane.
in line.
Okay.
Is that vintage counterfeits are much more common than modern because of the advanced printing technologies like foil and all the PETG, like acetate
For
that
sure.
modern companies use. And again, so that makes sense to me where the old cards are the paper ones with ink on them, right?
Yeah.
Now, the most fake card overall would be the 1986 Fleer Michael Jordan. And
Oh.
according to PSA, now this is a wild stat. It's not
Yeah,
a
go.
hockey
I
card.
want to hear.
So according to PSA, they rejected 524 counterfeit 86 Fleer Jordan last year, which was 25% of the total submissions of that card.
That's bonkers. It's great.
Yeah.
But that's got to be one or two guys. That can't.
I don't know.
There's bad entities out there, but they're not abundant in that.
Right.
Like, I think same
I
with all
feel that way.
those fake patch cards in the late 2000s that made my friend Josh Madigan think most patch cards are fake was all one guy. One guy. It was just
Really?
one dude to make all those fake patch cards. Unless someone knows, okay, maybe there was two, but I know of one for years and years. And that's why I don't feel it's anyways. That's wild about the Jordans though. 25%. Crazy.
That's nuts.
So the number 2 card on Los Boys comes from our little corner of the hobby. It's the 1979 O-Pee-Chee Gretzky rookie.
Oh,
Unfortunately, they didn't list the number of counterfeits in the story on Collect or total percentage, but did say that one of the reasons why they think it's faked so much is because of the huge incentive that there's only 2 PSA 10s and that a third would be, in
just slip
theory,
through.
a multi-million-dollar card.
I think another thing is a lot of people with Gretzky. I've met like older people. They don't know. They find it in a drawer and they think it's a Gretzky rookie, but it's just a reprint from some time. And if it didn't say reprint on it, they send it in. It's fake. They didn't know it's fake. They're not.
I want to have an interesting conversation around this, but so let me get through really quick the rest of the top 10 cards.
I'll be
none of it else are hockey cards, but so the number 3 fake card is a 2000 Skybox Impact Tom Brady. Number 4 there's a couple here that are really like, wow. The number 4 most counterfeited card is the 1985 Topps Mark McGuire Team USA baseball card.
Weird.
Seems odd.
Yeah.
Very
then
American.
The 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle.
Ooh.
And the 1984 Star Michael Jordan. Number 7 is the 2000 Pacific Aurora Tom Brady. Number 8, it's not a card, but I love it. It's the 1985 Michael Jordan Nike promo, like the big, almost like postcard thing.
Let me stop you really quick before we go on to the next one. Is the 1984 Star Michael Jordan the one that everybody's in this huge debate whether
That's with the Jeff Wilson thing. Yeah, when he was
whether that's the rookie or 1982.
He buys a bunch and then pushes it and he's like, actually, this is probably the real rookie. Like, all right, Wilson, settle down.
Just so I know what card we were talking about.
Great clarifying question. Number 9 is another one that seems, again, kind of surprised me. It's the 1989 Fleer Billy Ripken FF Error.
Oh, really? Why would he fake that card?
I don't know. And then number 10 is the 2009 Topps Stephen Curry. Okay, so here, what are the takeaways here? Well, hopefully PSA is really good at catching fakes. I mean, 12% of, you'd have to assume some of them got through, or 12,000 that probably some got through, right? Bad people can be smart too. But what I really think about this, and getting back to the Gretzky and where I want to get your guys' input, is if Gretzky is the number 2 card faked at PSA who has a fraud detection system, what do you guys think about card shows all across Canada and the US where there's raw Gretzky rookies? And how hard it is to buy that card anyways? I mean, would you be really nervous? Like, Phil, are you confident in all the years in the hobby that you could spot a fake
Yes.
raw Gretzky?
Yes.
Okay.
In my sleep. And I'm sure I could be, I'm sure there could be one out there that I'd be wrong on, but I would never worry about buying a raw Gretzky, meeting anyone anywhere, and having the skill set in my noggin to feel confident of my purchase. But then a guy like me would go to Jeremy Lee as the next step. I'd be like, Jeremy, could I have a second opinion if I was unsure, right? So there is people that have more knowledge, of course, tons more knowledge than me, but I'd be confident. Yeah.
Yep. If I was going to buy something that was raw, I would for surely be taking pictures of it and sending it to a few people I know.
Pictures. I want to see the card. So at the end of the day, no matter what I'm driving to see the card. You can send me 1,000. Yeah, you can send me 1,000 pictures, and I can give you like pretty 90-95%.
Well, then I'm not buying any because you ain't driving to me to look at one. So then it's in a slab.
Yeah, I want my tools, and I want my knowledge, and I want to be in the same room of the card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because a lot of times you have to assess it by feel. Like, does it feel right
Big time,
on
man.
the paper? Well, and that's kind of like my point in all of this is that, again, I'll reiterate, if PSA has all their own detection systems around this, and they have expertise around it as well, it would be much easier to scam some 40-year-old casual hockey collector dad at a card show.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing there's tons of them that are raw at card shows.
I didn't realize those numbers. Those are huge numbers, man.
Makes you think now, doesn't it?
Back to good vibes only. I don't want to hear it.
No, I think that's like what the outcome is that you always have to understand, and we try to make this point a lot. This is the most difficult card in all the hobby to buy. You really have to, and it's beyond authenticity. Its condition is really hard to assess. There's a million things from registration to, rough cut versus loss on the edges and corners, and a whole bunch of stuff. And don't ever impulse buy this card, and get opinions of other. If you don't feel like you have
ask friends, ask
the level of expertise, get somebody else's
or
opinion.
go to your local LCS too. I mean, that's a decent assumption that they would know more than you. And there's also about 10 years ago, there was a Gretzky fake going around. I went to a card show in I don't know, I don't remember. And there was like one of the best fakes I've ever seen in my life because it was off-centered. They made it so it was a little, it wasn't, yeah, that's what I would do if I was going to be a hustler. I wouldn't make 10 out of 10s. I'd make like 7.5, 8s,
or 4s or 5s. You can get a lot. You can get a few thousand bucks for them.
Sure, yeah.
Okay,
right.
Louis, you got our next hobby news story.
I do. We're going to finish up this quarter century team thing here today with the last 3 teams before things go a different direction. So, in case you don't know, NHL kicked off 2025 by naming franchise stars from the past quarter century. The NHL is announcing the first and second quarter century teams for each franchise that existed since 2000. These players were voted by a panel of media, retired players, and executives specific to each club. These players are judged to have been the best for their team in the past 25 years. So we are going to jump into the Edmonton Oilers. Now, best seasons in the past 25 years, they had cup final appearances in 05-06 and 23-24. They have had 12 coaches since 2000.
Wow.
And have run through 9 GMs in that time too.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought that was huge. So on their first team, we have Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. On D is Evan Bouchard, Darnell Nurse. In goal, Dwayne Roley the goalie Rollison.
Now, you want to know why Connor McDavid's never won a Stanley Cup?
Because Dwayne Rollison's his goalie.
When Roley the goalie is your best goalie in the last 25 years, that's
right.
And he had a couple good years in Minnesota.
Wasn't he your goalie? Yeah, that's I never think of him on that.
He came from after he's kind of flamed out in Edmonton. He came to us and had one of the best seasons, probably the best season Minnesota goalies ever had.
Yeah,
and then had a decent season after that, and I think fell off the cliff again.
Yep. Second team is Alice Hemsky, Sean Horkoff, and Ryan Smith. On D, Matthias Ekholm, Jason Smith, and Tommy Salo in net.
Man, Ryan Smith, Captain Canada, baby.
Yeah.
Alex Hemsky, is awesome. He played on Ottawa for a little bit. Very underrated player. What a reach that guy had. He could just very good player. I was very sad when we let him go.
All right.
I'm kind of meh. Sweet.
Are you happy? Are you sad?
I thought it'd be a little better, but
What,
anyways,
the Oilers?
yeah.
They haven't had anything happen in 25 years,
No.
man.
Yeah,
That's
you're
the
right.
whole point. He needs a cup.
The Vegas Golden Knights best season Stanley Cup win in 22-23. They've had 3 coaches and 2 GMs since 2000. Their first team is Jack Eichel, William Karlsson, and Mark Stone. Then on D, Alex Pietrangelo, Shea Theodore, and in goal, Aiden Hill.
Yeah, I mean they've been only a few years, so
Right.
that's kind of their Stanley Cup roster. That probably makes most sense.
And then you got Jonathan Marchessault
Much
on
as
the second team with Riley Smith, Chandler Stevenson. And then on D is Alec Martinez, Braden McNabb, and Marc-Andre Fleury.
Nobody likes Vegas. Moving on.
Sure. Tampa Bay Lightning.
Uh,
Best season, Stanley Cup wins in 03-04, 1920, 2021. They've had 6 coaches and 6 GMs since 2000. First team is Nikita Kucherov, Steven Stamkos, and Martin St. Louis. On D, Dan Boyle, Victor Hedman, and in net, Andre Vasilevsky.
that's a stacked team, eh?
Yeah, that's a good team.
that's a good one.
Second team, Vincent Lecavier, Braden Point, and Brad Richards, Pavel Kubina, Ryan McDonough, and Ben Bishop in net.
That's a pretty good team too. Holy crap. Yeah, not
So,
too bad.
and like mentally going back through all of these over the last few weeks, I still think in the if you did like a tournament, the championship game would be Blackhawks and Avalanche.
Yeah, I was going to
Probably,
say Colorado for sure.
I'd like to see it play out though. I'd like to be at those games to figure this final out.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
So now that we
All right,
ran
then.
through them all, just so you know, the quarter century team's next steps here. Here's what's going on. Shortly following the conclusion of the announcements, the focus will turn to a league-wide fan vote from the February 12th through the 26th. The fan vote will determine the top 25 players of the past 25 years, regardless of position. That will comprise the NHL quarter century team. Voting will be conducted on NHL.com and on X. Fans will have 100% of the vote. Only players named to a club's first quarter century team will be eligible for selection.
We start the campaign for Danny Heatley now.
Yeah, funny guy.
Yeah.
All right. Good job, Lee.
Was there any more? We'll skip it. So here I had a fun little nidbit for us just to touch on really quick.
Okay.
Mid-season standings. Anything surprise anybody here?
Well, I think the Capitals are the surprise of the whole league.
Yeah,
Yep.
That's what I was going to say.
Yep. I'm surprised my Sens don't have 66 points. I'm a little upset with them, but that's okay. We're okay in their spot.
Hey, they're
Well,
still in
the
there.
other thing is no, as of right now, no Bruins, no Rangers in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Right.
Rangers. I thought it was going to happen, but I don't think so. I don't think so. It's not looking too hot for the Rangers.
You guys get my little picture there by the Sabres?
Yeah, that's funny.
Cute.
So Phil, how confident are you that your Senators actually make the playoffs?
80-20.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. My heart says 100, but you know what? I'll go 75-25. Detroit makes me nervous. Columbus, makes me nervous. I know I'm picking on the Rangers, but you could win 8 games in a row. You never know,
Yeah.
It is very anxiety riddled with this wild card. It's stressing me out. That's why I wanted Ottawa to have 60. We've lost our last 3 games, and if we won at least 1 or 2 of them, it's an extra little cushion, right? We were only 2 points back of the Leafs there a couple weeks ago. It's crazy.
What's your guys' Eastern Finals prediction. What 2 teams?
Oh, I'm not answering that question. I'm emotionally involved.
I don't know. Caps, Florida.
Caps, Florida?
Yeah, I was thinking Florida Hurricanes, but was that last year?
I wouldn't. I don't know, man. I think there's going to be a dark horse. If it's not my Sens, I think maybe
Well, then
Columbus.
it's the Devils.
Yeah, I don't know.
Got to get Heischer back on that team.
I
But,
don't
hey,
know. You think New Jersey can do it?
you could be sitting at the bottom of the Atlantic with the Titanic in Buffalo.
If he just got on the board. Yeah. Why didn't she let him on the board? I don't understand why she never let him on the door. I never got that. There was clearly
You know about Rose and Jack?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Why did she's anyway.
Anyways,
Well, we've already had one controversy today. We can't handle the Rose and Jack one.
Let's go to the harder conference in the NHL.
Go Oilers. Go Jets.
Got the Jets on top of the Central, Oilers on top of the Pacific, and wild card leader right now is Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Vancouver, in the wild card. See what happens there.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing yet with Pettersson, I bet you think any deals will be made over the 4 nations? I think so.
When's the deadline?
Soon.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Well,
this one I couldn't. If you were to ask me, what do you think this is going to end up? I could not predict this right now.
I just hate Vegas. Get lost. Someone friggin' punks, bunch of bums.
I'm gonna guess Avalanche and Oilers.
I want the Oilers to win. So you guys want Edmonton to win? Would you like to see
I prefer
McDavid
my
get a
Wild to win, but
after
beyond
your
that,
Wild, after my Sens, I would love to see McDavid get a cup. Would love
Me
to
too.
see that.
I love
That'd
it.
be good.
Yeah. Or
Billy,
Winnipeg.
you got, oh,
Big fan
sorry,
of
bud.
Winnipeg. Pardon me?
No, I'm so done with Winnipeg. They need to go away.
Why is that? Because they're near you guys?
Sure.
Yeah, there's a rivalry. there.
Yeah.
They come down. They travel well. Like
Oh,
when
yeah.
they play in Minnesota,
Good.
they get tons of, and they're a little rowdy. It's all right.
Yeah, well, it's Winnipeg Canadians. We have more fun than you guys. Yeah, we don't need guns to have fun.
Wow.
Stereotyping your whole country right there. Yeah.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Literally. Yeah. Don't tell me I don't need an assault rifle. See, I'm being an ignorant Canadian.
All right, Bill.
Throwing a curveball into this now, aren't you?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
let's talk about a baseball story because
Yes,
you are
that's
the bigger
mine.
baseball leader.
Yes, that's mine. Okay. So, okay. So I'm a little late to this party, but on February 2nd, IP Mizuhara was sentenced to nearly 5 years in prison for stealing approximately $17 million from Shohei Ohtani's bank account to cover his sports gambling debts. Mizuhara pleaded guilty to bank and tax fraud, acknowledging the theft of nearly $17 million from Ohtani. Just wait, guys. I'm getting to it. I'm sure other stuff was involved. I actually don't really care about this entire story, but this is the part that's pretty cool or horrible. Mizuhara bought 2 baseball cards, just 2. And who were they of? Shohei Ohtani. He bought his own cards of the guy. So what did he
stealing
buy?
the money from?
I don't know what. So it's a 2017 Bowman Chrome Super Refractor. And then the real rare one is the 2018 Topps Chrome Super Refractor, which is like one of the rarest cards on the planet.
You better believe it is.
You better believe it is. So both those cards are of a combined value of $325,000, according to the lawsuit. Ohtani claims, this isn't funny, so I don't know what I'm laughing, but
Yeah.
Ohtani claims that these cards were purchased with his money without his permission.
So,
So it's kind of flattering, I guess, but also super not cool, Mizuhara. Not cool at all. But check out those card prices. So yeah, I think we'd be more successful if we were clearly a baseball podcast, but we'll stick to hockey. And that's my hobby news for this week.
How bad are you at sports betting? You're down 17 million.
I said, like, he buys his own Shohei cards. Like, I don't know. Like, I guess that's better. I mean, you would like you bought you. Yeah, I don't know. I find this whole thing absolutely hilarious.
Wow, that is crazy.
someday you can steal 17 million out of my account and I'll never notice, Phil.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like I obviously it's theft. I feel bad for Shohei, but I don't care. Like he's fine. Like everyone's
Mhm.
fine, right? Except the guy going to prison.
It's time for some new product releases, boys. And it's brought to you by Gongshow friend and partner Mint Ink. Mint Ink is just flat out one of the nicest LCSs you'll ever go to. It is. If you're in the GTA, Greater Toronto area, please be sure to stop by either Mint Ink's Davenport or their flagship location in Vaughan. Now, the one in Vaughan is a sight to behold. Haven't been to Davenport, but I'm sure it's nice too. I think it's the future of a local card shop. You get your hobby boxes like 24, 25 Allure that just came out. Singles, you can submit cards for grading, consign your cards, join a break after dark, and a whole lot more. But don't worry, Phil. I know you don't live in Toronto. That's fine. The best
Nobody's
news is
perfect.
Mint Ink can ship. Yeah, nobody's perfect. Can ship like 24, 25 Allure anywhere in the country. Now, Phil, you mentioned the other day you're planning a spring break trip in Big Beaver in southern Saskatchewan, right?
Yes. Always
You are.
planning a trip to Big Beaver, my favorite place to be, warm and fuzzy.
Okay. Well, while you're on your trip, you can actually have your boxes shipped to you there. That's
Okay.
kind of nice.
I might be busy, but sure. There's
Okay.
all time management. Yeah.
All right. Well, again, go to mintink.ca for all your hobby needs in Canada. 24-25 Allure came out yesterday.
Yes.
Well, today for us, yesterday for you. And it hit shelves, local card shops all around the USA and Canada. I went to my LCS today, picked up a box, opened it. Oh,
You
remember
did?
too. Yeah.
You can't even
Oh, yeah.
wait for me to get home from
What
work
the
and
heck
be
is
like,
going
dude,
on?
come
This
over.
guy-
Let's open this.
Dude, I
Yeah,
got places
I
to
didn't-
go.
You have
You didn't
nowhere
even-
to be.
Stop
All
it.
right, let him
All right.
finish.
I was going to say, remember, when you're opening your box, why don't you head to hockeychecklist.com and find your cards on the best checklist site that ever was that made,
Yeah.
Yeah.
according to Phil's
10%
mom.
better than Beckett. Let's go.
10% better. That's our goal in
Yeah.
life. I can be
10% better than you jerk.
okay. So here's my initial thoughts. Having opened a box, I have cards.
Well, what'd you
Mhm.
get, man? Show
Oh, I'm
us.
gonna talk. I'll talk
Oh.
about it. Talk about it. Okay. I like the overall base design better than the preview images. I was a little nervous about this year
Yeah.
because they just, sometimes like the images from the computer screen don't reflect what cards look like in hand, and so I enjoyed the design better than I thought I would. That's +1.
Good.
Do you wear blue light glasses?
No, why?
I maybe it makes the cards look better if we like those blue. I can't tell if that's gimmicky. If we have an optometrist, if they could reach out to
Oh,
us,
okay.
that'd be good.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's not as much though of a rainbow foil effect this year. So it's like they're more like the base cards are more muted. You know how like last for 23, 24 and the year before, it was like it looked like a parallel almost the base cards. They were just
Mhm.
very super shiny and refractive. They're nice. There's a little bit of like a rainbow tinge, but it's not as much this year. Even the parallel colors are a little more muted, but not in a terrible way. They're just not as like,
Not the gold glitter bomb.
oh, I got one of
Nobody-
those.
Nobody mutes gold glitter bomb.
Nobody mutes it. One of the things though that I do appreciate about Allure is that they keep evolving the designs.
Yeah.
Like they're pretty different year to year, and I like that. Right? It's like they're not just like playing it safe. Now, when you get into some of the consternation that I've seen around today about the set, some people are wondering
Consternation. What is that?
consternation.
Okay.
It's not constipation.
Yeah.
It's
Well, that's
what
funny.
people are complaining about, right? People are,
Okay,
are
okay.
concerned about.
Thanks, Josh.
It's one of the things is that so you have, as we didn't know from our checklist review, you have like the biggest rookies are not in the base set, they're in extended rookies. And when you look at the cards, which Louis will put up on the screen, like the Macklin Salbrini, the Matvei Michkov, and there's like 3 or 4 other rookies in there. Their cards are in this like extended rookies base set. There's no mention of rookie on the card. And people are asking, it is, I don't know why. At first I thought, well, maybe it's an XRC, but it's not because it's not. Usually it'll be labeled that in the card number on the card. Does that bother you guys? That
Yeah, I think you know your timing's weird because on my Bedard, it's a rookie card and it doesn't say rookie on it, and that bothers me. I want it now, mind you, I'm trying to trade it, but I want a rookie card to say rookie. That's what
Yeah.
we want, right? As a
Mhm.
as a frontline member of our hobby collecting community, I want it to say rookie.
Yeah. I kind of do too. I'm curious. I want to find out who did this set. I want to ask them that question. Like, what was the reason to not put rookie on the card? What do you think, Louis? Does that bother you? Would you prefer to have rookie on like the
Do you know what it
base card
says?
here?
Do you know what they say on the back?
Well, I can go to hockeychecklist.com.
Oh, you should.
I heard some like really kind of handsome guys made that.
Yeah, but be patient because it might be slow.
Stop.
We're working
I mean-
on it. Come on.
Regardless of what it does say on the back, maybe it says rookie in big letters somewhere, but it's always cool
the
to
front.
have it on the front of the card.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it doesn't like the card number for Macklin Celebrini is AR-MC. So
Arm Rook.
So is that
something rookie.
Allure,
What would the A's
Allure
stand?
rookie?
Allure rookie, yeah. So the 5 players in this extended rookies are Jonathan Lekkerimaki, Macklin Celebrini, Matvei Michkov, Rucker McGroarty. Rucker follows us on Instagram. You know that?
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, we're moving on up, boys.
Hey,
That's
Rucker. Hey, bud.
good.
Come on our show.
Yes,
Hey.
we need an NHL player on our show.
Yeah,
then
they
Will
probably would have come on until you said, "Hey, bud."
Yeah, all
Hey,
like
Rucker.
that. Yeah. Hey, boy, come on over.
Hey,
Come on,
boy.
Josh.
Oh, hey, Louis.
What?
1 hour, 24:20, like 5. You got to clip that.
What? You guys,
Nothing.
were you talking without me? There's a lot of inside jokes, and I don't even know what's going
Totally
on.
fine, Phil.
He'll go to sleep. Nothing's
That's what my
happening.
mother says. It's fine, Philip.
It's
No,
fine,
there is
Philip.
no stated odds on these, so they could be pretty rare. And there's a black parallel too, which again has no stated odds, but
We'll show the black one.
I don't have it.
You don't know there's no picture?
No, like there's only one Celebrini and one Michkov I could find. I toyed with getting the Michkov, so there's like a $66 US or best offer, but because this is like where the part of me where I like, oh, I'm gonna get in on the, I'm gonna
prospect. Yeah.
I'm gonna get on the Ricky J.
Yeah, I know,
You know?
stuff others don't.
I know stuff others don't, and it's like, but actually, I'm proud of myself. I said, don't be dumb.
Yeah.
This is not your wheelhouse. Buy something that you actually collect.
I almost bought a Brady glitter bomb today too. Guy had it for like $200, and he were best offer. I was like, "What?" I'm like, "What are you doing? What are you doing right now?" I'm like,
Brady Kachuk Gold Glitter Bomb for $200.
More best offer, and I was like, "Oh yeah!" And I'm like, "No, you get away from the computer right now. Go do the dishes. What are you doing?"
I don't, and I'm being no shade on your boy Brady. I don't think that's a $20 card. Is it?
No, it's not, dude. It's a $5 card.
It's
Like,
hard
yeah,
to argue.
yeah, but that's a $5 card. 100%. No, I wouldn't even pay him $20 maybe if I'm in a good mood and I have a donut in the other hand or something, but no.
Yeah, so that's probably the biggest. I'm looking for the impressions card. I couldn't find one on eBay earlier. That's the one that has like the big chase that it's like 1 in 1,500 packs or something like that. But there was no preview image of. So looking for that one in there. Okay, now to my case.
Case.
Case. Oh,
Cool.
jeez. Yeah, I wish.
Bobby Big Wheel.
Okay, so the first thing is, I unfortunately got an auto.
Oh, sticker boy.
Mm.
Super sticker. Good job.
Now, Phil and I are both on Team Doubloons. When we open,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
praying for. Now, if it's like a
Mhm.
Wayne Gretzky sticker auto, I'd like sell it and make some money on that. But yeah, so I was bummed to not see doubloons. Now, you guys were chatting in our group text earlier in the day that people were getting pretty aggressive with their doubloons prices. Huh?
Yeah, Louis was saying that's good. I want him to get him. Case hits.
Mm-hmm.
I really want the Gordie Howe.
Is there another one this year?
Yeah, there was one the year before.
There's I think there's two. I think there's one every year, man. I have one without his legs cut off and one with his legs cut off, I think.
Oh, like gold medallions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
The 2 best hits I got, I kind of gave Louis photos. So I mean, per usual, was not the best box. I got a Cole Caulfield blue line. These are out of 35.
Okay.
And then I did get a gold glitter bomb. It's a rookie. I don't know much about him. Zachary Bolduc, but that's the gold glitter bomb, Phil.
How does the card look? Like I
Great.
can see it, but in hand, right?
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Oh, wicked. Yeah, it looks great. Yeah, what a set. I'm really coming around on Allure. Yeah. All you have
Price
to
was a
do
lot
is
better. It
make-
was 115 US. I think
Oh,
I don't know. good or bad that is compared to other places. But again, we're rolling back from the Bedard tax, so that's kind of nice.
I'd like get rid of the sticker auto and make a new insert, a really rare new insert.
Yeah.
And that'll pump the set. That'll get it to be an auto-less set. Like even on card, who cares? Don't do it. You know?
Now that I see the rookie on that glitter bomb, I'm like, well, why isn't that on the celebration?
Yeah, it's weird.
They decided not to for some. Maybe they did it to see the
Maybe they
feedback,
forgot.
and they won't do it
It's like-
again. I was trying not to say that.
Well, of course it happened.
Maybe they hired the same co-op kid that PSA let go for changing the website 2 months later. They hired him as a designer.
What is a co-op? Oh, go ahead.
I'd really like to have one of those in hand.
You can hold mine, Louis, if you want.
Oh, thanks, Phil.
That was fake Phil. Real Phil didn't.
Oh no, I saw your lips move.
No, you're look
I
at something else then.
There's AI video technology. In the future, we're going to make your lips move when you do those in post production. Okay, you've said like now 2 or 3 times on the show, co-op kid. Is that a Canada thing? Because of that I'm not vibing on that.
Why did you wait for the 3rd time? If I don't understand something, I'm asking right away. So a cooperative placement in high school, in grade 11 and 12, you go to a business and you go for the morning or the afternoon, and you know it's a nice soft introduction into the workforce. Oh yeah. So
Okay.
that's why I say co-op kid, because they usually make a lot of mistakes or they steal keyboards and mice from Mitel.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I heard that happens in Canada.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's hard to argue. It is hard to argue. It's usually the co-op kid that makes mistakes, or the intern. I guess your version would be the intern.
Yeah, the intern.
Yeah, the intern. Yeah.
Co-op kid sounds weird, but that's just a cultural thing in our countries.
Mm-hmm.
Any other thoughts on Allure so far? Are you going to be opening it tonight on Friday Nights with Phil? You'll be giving a box away, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna open it, and I hope I don't get a sticker auto, and I hope I get a doubloon, or golden treasure. I'd like a golden treasure.
Sorry.
What's up, Louis?
My turn now. Okay.
Yeah,
Did you notice any thickness difference in any of those cards, Josh?
No, but I can reference hockeychecklist.com and know like the base cards are 27 point, Louis.
Mm-hmm.
I know that you were we were debating. We almost bet on would they be 26 point? Would they be 24 point? We both would have been wrong because they're actually 27 point.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
We're gonna lose subscribers with this checklist thing. The checklist is gonna be successful, but we're gonna lose all.
People are gonna, even though it's a good checklist, people are not gonna go there just because we're being tools about it.
Yeah, I know it's good though. But if you,
we're excited.
Oh, we're so excited. Obviously, like if you can't, you know, I mean, like if you don't know, like let me just give you an example. Like if you don't know the thickness of a doubloon, you can just go to the website and know it's a 74 point at checklist.com. It's not a big deal. That was my turn.
We're done now.
Yeah, we're
I
done.
promise. I'm checking your work though, real quick.
What work?
It is 74 point. Good on you, Phil. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Anything else on Allure before we move on to Fanatics?
I'm excited.
Yeah,
give it a shot. Give it a shot. 2 years ago, I ripped it, not like ripped the wax. I ripped it apart. I was like, oh, it's so silly. It's for kids and blah, blah. I'm all over it now. I really think it's a great set. A lot of hard work has gone into it. And I'm going to vote with my wallet tomorrow.
I do wish now, I formulated my opinion that the extended rookies did say rookie. That part is a bummer. But maybe we'll find out there's a good reason. I don't know.
It's bothering you, eh?
It's bothering me.
Bothers me too.
Okay. Fanatics Collect is a sponsor of our show. We're thankful for their support. Remember, the February premiere auctions live right now is 9 pretty amazing hockey cards available to bid on at fanaticscollect.com. Here's another card from the premiere that I think is worth mentioning.
But I can't show it.
You can't?
No.
Uh-oh.
Because I skipped it.
Ooh.
Unless you want to, should we go into pause world?
No, we're fine. So just go to Fanatics Collect, and there's a 2015 The Cup McDavid Gold Spectrum Auto, PSA 10 Auto 10. I think it's on a 24. It's an amazing card. Amazing card. Right. Very beautiful auto on it. So be sure to check that out. And then any of the other 8 in the premiere, again, on fanaticscollect.com. Now, if the premiere is a little spendy for your hobby budget, then we'd recommend checking out the weekly auction, which is, in fact, more my speed as well.
Yeah, more
current weekly.
More. So the premiere auctions for whales. This one's for dolphins.
Yeah. You're a sea otter, so where do you go?
Yeah, I'll take that.
No, you'd be a walrus with your mustache for sure.
Yeah, I don't want to get eaten by a shark though. I feel like I'd put up a better fight than a walrus would.
I'd pay to see that. Okay. The weekly auction is live, ends this upcoming Sunday night. Catch our good friends Jeremy Lee and I covering all the key cards closing in the auction on his Sports Cards Live YouTube channel starting at 8:30 Central. Now for a little preview, we've each selected a vintage and modern card from this week's auction to highlight. So the one that I picked is starting with vintage, is a 1924 C144 Champs Hockey Clarence Day PSA 3, which is a very good grade. This card was actually in last week's auction and sold for a ton of money and then didn't get paid for. Got listed again, is already at a ton of money. I think it went for like over 8K last week. Again, closing price, so it didn't say. I spoke wrong.
You don't see that too often on old cards like this, right?
Mhm.
Usually the 80-year-olds have their poop together. Guess this one didn't.
Yeah. Now, Clarence Hap Day is a Hockey Hall of Famer. Was part of the 1961 class, so we'll get to him soon in our Get to Know Your Hall of Famer series. Now, the card in the 1924 C144 Champs set, this one we're looking at, is his rookie card. And it's a very, very rare card. I can only find about 20 total sales of any copy going back to 2005 in Card Ladder sales history. The PSA 3 pop of this card is just one, and there's 14 graded higher. Only 18 copies have ever been graded by PSA. Hap Day was both a professional or successful player and coach for the Maple Leafs, given the rarity and his connection to a robust hobby market like Toronto. I kind of get why this card goes for some big money. I don't think a PSA 3 has sold publicly yet. Now, again, the closing price last week was $8,400, but it went unpaid, so we'll see what happens this week. The card itself has pretty decent eye appeal, especially for a 3. The corners have wear. The bottom corner is a little bit more than the top. The biggest issue is that there's a fair amount of like counterclockwise tilt on it. So you have to kind of get past that for this card to appeal to you. Yeah. You got a current bid, Louis?
5,500.
Yeah, pretty strong.
Wow,
So,
that's crazy. That's
Probably
awesome.
the underbidder going back at it. Louis,
Mhm.
what was your vintage pick?
My vintage pick was a 92-93 Bowman Boyle Mario Lemieux PSA 10. So like I end up doing with all these, try to find something that I've never seen, something that stands out for me, and thought this was interesting. It's a foil card, obviously. I said that, but they were printed in this Bowman set of players in just their all-star
Okay.
uniforms. There's 44 total cards printed like this in this set. Now, I don't know if either one of you know more about it than I do.
I have never seen this card in my life.
No, I've never seen this card either.
It's really hard to find good information on it, but that's about all I could do. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a sweet card. I like it. So, all right, now, or I should say, the last sale of the PSA 10 was for $234 US, and right now it's got my attention to watch at $22 US.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Good pick, Bubba Louie. Phil, which one did you pick?
Okay.
Mm.
I'm here to ruffle feathers. Are you ready, boys? So I picked one of the biggest staples in any hockey card personal collection of people that collect hockey cards. So this card is notorious for the amount of PSA 10s it has. Do you guys know how many? Okay, I'll tell you. 3,842. The number just keeps going up and up and up every time because Josh, you say it a lot. And it just keeps going up and up. So so the total number of all the cards graded for this Jaromir Jagr, not just the PSA 10s, is 12,618.
Wow.
I believe it is I don't know. I'm not going to guess. So
I think Bedard has passed it now, but it was the most graded hockey.
You read my mind there.
Right? That or Gretzky. Rookie.
So I like Jaromir Jagr. Obviously, he's a living legend. He's a physical specimen. He has all of the Greek god phrases that I can think of apply to him. But I don't like him enough to have a crisp, clean copy. Want to have this in my PC. I probably have like 10 of these in random boxes, and and
Sure.
I'm just happy I have one. I'm not looking for a super Phil snob type of card. This card could be yours though, at a very reasonable price, because the current bid is 105 American dollars. And if you're my age, you probably should have this card along with the Burrays, the Mogilnys, etc.
Mhm.
But if you want a raw copy, they're abundant. I highly recommend looking in dollar boxes. Well, not dollar boxes, but you know what I mean. The boxes off to the side at card shows. But if you want a nice graded one, you want a nice 10, this looks like a pretty good copy, man. Yeah, pretty cheap so far, 105 bucks.
Yeah,
Sweet.
iconic
Yeah,
card.
the
Yeah.
classic. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna switch on to modern.
Okay.
Switch to modern. My pick is a card I had never seen before. A 1997 Leaf Fractal Matrix. Wayne Gretzky, number 8. A PSA 10 gem mint. So the main reason I picked it is I just kind of like saying in my own head fractal matrix.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a cool word. Now, do you guys want to know what a fractal matrix is? Well, too bad. I looked it up. Phil,
Yes.
write this down.
Okay.
A fractal matrix is a type of matrix that exhibits self-similarity, a property where a pattern repeats at different scales, much like fractals in mathematics and nature. These matrices often have a recursive or hierarchical structure where smaller sub-matrices resemble the whole matrix. That clarifies the thing for you, Phil? You want to repeat?
I think I got it all. Do you want me to repeat it back to you?
Yes, please.
Okay. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? That's all I
You
heard.
nailed it. I don't know. There's like in a, we'll say 30-word sentence, there's probably 25 words I didn't understand. So
Now you know how I feel when I listen to you.
Mm. All right. This card, and then this card itself is pretty complicated, and it almost turned into a deep dive. But so according to TCDB, there's an X-axis, a Y-axis version 2 in this parallel set, and then there's gold, silver, and bronze versions that intersect that as well. I don't know. It was very, very confusing. The long and short of it is TCDB says the print run of the Wayne Gretzky here was 700. There's 700 total made.
Wow.
And PSA 10 pop is 8. So a pretty rare Gretzky card from the 90s. And if you're a fractal matrix fan and you're into that, then this is probably a card for you. Last of a PSA 10 was 113 US dollars in July of 2020. That was also the all-time high. You got a current bid, Louis?
155 US.
Wow, we got a new record sale already. It's paid for.
Mhm.
You know what the problem with these cards? It doesn't matter how rare they are. You as an owner, if you want to sell it, you have to give a history lesson every time. And it's frustrating. Like I have like 10 super rare Alfredsons. Like, you know, this is the rarest one out of 18 cases. No one cares, dude. No one
Yeah, it's like,
cares. I'm
Listen
done
to this
giving
half-hour story why it's a special
Yeah,
card.
like I don't care. And that's how I feel about I'm gonna get bad DMs, but that's how I feel about the new Leaf cards and the President's Choice cards. Yeah, they're cool cards. I'm not saying they're not, but I don't want to sell the story with the card every freaking time.
Well, that's why Sylvain, every time he's on, says the Jack Hughes Young Guns is like easy money, right?
Yeah.
Everybody wants one. Louis, what was your modern pick?
I picked a 15-16 O-Pee-Chee Platinum Tracks Alex Ovechkin, and it's in a CGC certified authentic sleeve.
Nice card.
Picked the card, yes, because I liked it, and because I hadn't seen to this day even a lot of these, so I wanted to just dig in a little bit. And what I found was interesting. So this card in 15-16, they were in 1 in 10 hobby and retail blaster boxes. The year prior to that, they were harder to come by in 14-15, and they were in 1 in 20 packs. Then what I thought was interesting is these are the 2014 and 15, 15 and 16 are the only 2 years, from what I could find, that they just had the original tracks. Now it seems like they're gone. The only thing you can find going forward is yellow, blue, there's a ice blue. So to me, being able to get this card that currently is sitting at $5 and the last sale of it was $4, it's something that's gone away, and I think that would interest some people, which it interests me. Just, they're 10 years old and
Yeah.
you can't just get a regular tracks anymore.
Well, and they're very cool looking. The tracks
they're-
pattern, we know, looks very nice, and it's cheap. And you get Ovi from an iconic set in a parallel. That's a beautiful looking card. It's a big win, I think.
Wicked jersey too. Wicked picture.
Yeah.
Lots going
Mhm.
on for this card. Great pick, Louis.
Wicked.
All right.
Oh,
Yeah. All right. There we go. Oh, this is a good segue for our previous conversation. So my choice
is this
a
self-serving at all, Phil, or no?
no, I don't own this.
Oh, okay.
I don't have this one. I'm gonna explain it. Listen,
Okay.
I have a 2023 Upper Deck clear cut high gloss Connor Bedard rookie auto 10 out of 10. So few things here. Well, douse me in tar and feather me up, baby. I love this Bedard card. Okay. I actually like it more than the one I hit last week, which is this one.
I really wish I had that card, dude. That thing's awesome.
You can hold mine, Louis, if you want.
Oh, thanks.
So my Bedard doesn't say rookie on it, as we talked about before. I picked this card because it says RC on it. I'll take that. I'm not picking this because it says the high gloss. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
Which is usually I should care about that more than the rookie. Well, they both matter. I like this card better than the one I hit. I know the one I hit is more sought after for some reason, but I think this card is very, very nice. So either or, I thought his base card would be more popular. This high gloss, as the good listener knows, I don't really have a value on exclusive. I don't put a premium value on exclusive or high gloss parallels and clear cut. I'm not really sure why. I'm still waiting for a psychologist to contact us and explain our kooky hobby to us. But if I had to guess, it's already one card per box, right? Like, so it's already everything's kind of rare anyways. You're gonna get a lot of young guns in a case of flagship. So when you get an outburst or an exclusive, it actually feels rare because you feel it is, right? You're not hitting them. But you go spend $1,000 and get like 7 boxes of clear cut. You're not. Everything is rare. Everything is rare. You're probably not going to get 2 base cards in a row. You're probably not. So I just don't find a justification for the exclusive and high gloss thing in clear cut. And I guess I'm a bit of a hypocrite because I love high gloss and exclusive and flagship, but I hope I explained it decently well. All right, I'm rambling on. Current bid is $750.
I had a question for you guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is way out in left field, and I know it.
Not another
Might-
baseball story, is it?
No, but
Okay.
you can't switch from an original usually, but I like the RC on this card better than I like them saying Young Guns.
Really?
What if they,
Mm.
I believe that calls for a shots fired. Shots fired. Shots fired. It's okay. I did it. It's okay.
Well, let's say goodbye to our audience because we just lost our show.
We just lost the
Let's
whole
go
province of Quebec.
you know what?
Guarantee
I don't
that.
think that's true. I think there's 3, maybe 4.5 people that'll be like, yeah, Louis right for once.
I'll agree with you on the 3 to 4 people. Yeah, I think the Young Guns is.
I liked the
I'm a
RC
big fan.
badge on like the early platinum releases. Like I think that's a set that I would. Where then they went to marquee rookies.
Yeah, the marquee. I'm not a fan. I don't mind it in O-Pee-Chee, but the platinum.
I know you can't get away from it. I'm not saying doing it. Young Guns is cool, but I do like seeing that RC on there. I think that's really neat.
Marquee Legend sounds nice. Marquee Legends.
Sure.
Yeah. Like the Marquis de Sade. Quills.
Okay.
You ever seen that movie? Quills?
No.
It's a great movie.
Okay. All right, boys. Personal pickups.
Bill.
Can I show the same card over and over again? Did you guys know I hit up? I'm done. I got nothing.
Well, what's amazing about that card is you've actually mentioned it more than we've mentioned the checklist site. So
I'm stressed to do. I'm not handling it well. I don't like having big cards. Big cards. What? I mean, I guess it is. It's a big card today. It stresses me out, man. I'm not good. Like Sylvan's already creeping around. His little grubby little paws. Like, you could put that in Slab Sharks. Yes, I know. I just want a good trade, man. I want a good trade. Like if the card goes for $5,000 yesterday that I should know today, I'm literally only looking for like I would be looking for $2,000 trade, $2,500. Like if you find me a Golden Treasures Crosby for 2,500, done. Trade in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Louis, you're
Yeah,
holding up the team here this week for the
I
show.
am. Yeah, this one came because of all that yellow tracks, mumbo
Nice.
jumbo I was doing. But I picked up a 2020-21 O-Pee-Chee Platinum Nico Hischier yellow tracks. And then I couldn't help myself and had to grab a 23-24 Parker's Champions Black Nico Hischier, number 1 out of 10 if you're into that thing.
I love 1s out of 10s. Can I do you know I have a Shane Pinto Future Watch 999 out of 999 and 1001 out of 999. Anyways,
That's cool.
Really? That's
what
cool.
yeah, it's cool, eh? Bookends. What did you pick that up for, Louis? How is I haven't been paying attention on the blacks of the Parker's Champions. Was it
I was
reasonable?
kind of surprised at the price on this. I paid 12 US for it. $12.
$12?
Yeah.
Oh
Wow.
my god, that's a phenomenal dude.
That's
even
like
if you're not-
$600 to you though, Phil.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no kidding. Oh, it's not good up here.
And then I had this one last week, but I couldn't find a decent picture, so I didn't put it in. So I decided to put it in now with a better shot. It's an 0203 Topps Chrome Refractor
Nice.
Madonna.
That's the best
Nice.
card in the whole thing. Is it refracting? Yeah. Love a good
So,
refractor.
yeah. And then, like Josh said,
I'm a big
He's
hobby
got
loser. I got
nothing.
nothing.
Yeah, it's okay. We're losers together, buddy.
Yeah. All right, boys. We did
All
it.
Big
Good show.
episode. Big episode.
Yeah. Big
No, I
episode.
tell you,
Like-
Josh, don't read the comments.
Yeah.
You like responding. That's okay. It'll be okay.
it's fine.
if you like the episode,
Fine. Sorry.
it's fine. If you like the episode, please leave a rating and review on Apple, Spotify, whatever podcast app you listen to us on. If you love the show, you want to support us, want to chat with us on the Hockey Cards Gongshow Discord server, please consider a $5 a month donation. Join our out of $2.99 support level tier on Patreon. Link is in the show descriptions in both YouTube and podcasts and our Instagram, TikTok profile. You go to our website, hockeycardsgongshow.com, click on the Become a Patron link, or go to the Patreon website, patreon.com, and search for Hockey Cards Gong Show. We're on social media. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. And boys, the Hockey Cards Gong Show podcast is a production of Dollar Box Ventures, LLC. Baba Louie, take us out.
Bye.
Yo, it's the Gong Show. We're dropping the facts. Hockey cards on fire. No holding us back. Josh looking sharp, the face of the scene. Feeling pork chop pants, rocking it clean. Baba Louie in the booth, he's the man with the plan. The best producer in all the land. Gong Show Nation, let's hit the flow. It's the Hockey Cards Gong Show. Let's go, let's go. Wanna say them in the show.